to bread. I said go to bed. You said go to bread. Go to bread. You said go to bread. You said go to bread. Go to bread. Go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bed. One face at a time. It's much fun that way. One face at a time. One face at a time. It's much fun that way. Oh my God! You walked into the fountain. Get out!
Don't laugh at me. I was once like you.
You said go to bread. Go to bread. You said go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread. You said go to bread. Go to bread. Go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread. You said go to bread. Go to bread. Go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread. I thought I told you to go to bed. Yeah, right, bread. You said go to bread. I said go to bed. You said go to bread. Go to bread. You said go to bread. You said go to bread. Go to bread. Go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread. One face at a time. It's much fun that way. One face at a time. One face at a time. It's much fun that way. Oh my God! You walked into the fountain. Get out!
Don't laugh at me. I was once like you.
You said go to bread. Go to bread. You said go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread. You said go to bread. Go to bread. Go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread. You said go to bread. Go to bread. Go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread. I thought I told you to go to bed. Yeah, right, bread. You said go to bread. I said go to bed. You said go to bread. Go to bread. You said go to bread. You said go to bread. Go to bread. Go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread. One face at a time. It's much fun that way. One face at a time. One face at a time. It's much fun that way. Oh my God! You walked into the fountain. Get out!
Don't laugh at me. I was once like you.
You said go to bread. Go to bread. You said go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread. You said go to bread. Go to bread. Go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread. You said go to bread. Go to bread. Go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread. I thought I told you to go to bed. Yeah, right, bread. You said go to bread. I said go to bed. You said go to bread. Go to bread. You said go to bread. You said go to bread. Go to bread. Go to bread. 3, 8, 8, bread.
Hello, hello. How's everybody going? everybody's still in Discord, and we are just organizing like the final parts of what the team composition would look like and all of that stuff. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. I don't know if you could tell, I only just woke up. But there were a couple of streams going on that I was interested in watching anyway. So I was like, if I'm gonna get up anyway, I might as well just stream myself. Because essentially, there were a couple of streams. The first stream was Wolfie VGC. So I have like a pretty strong interest in like Pokemon VGC. So Scarlet and Violet, and Wolfie is like streaming a tournament run. So I was like, I think I want to watch that. And then Fawn is gonna play backpack paddles in a couple of hours. I'm like, oh my god, I love backpack paddles. So I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and watch. I'm just gonna go ahead and watch those streams. And if I'm gonna be awake at this time, then I might as well be awake for this. But yeah, how are people going? How are people going? I hope everybody's going well. Well, 4, 5. So I think it would be, yeah. So there are people in Discord. I'm in Discord with everybody. But you know, they're still organizing, so I haven't put them live on audio. But it seems like we have 6 people total today. So it might be like a 3v3. What time is it over there? It's like 8 a.m. for me, right? It's like 8 a.m. and it's a Sunday morning. I'm not used to waking up early on a weekend. But hey, how's everybody in chat going today? How are you guys going? Oh, and what time is it for you? I know that the majority of people would be like it would be like EU and that, but is everybody in chat from EU, or do we have other people like, let's say, from North America or something? All right, I'm gonna ask them if they mind being on stream audio. By the way, I'll ask.
Discuss like team compositions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
10
what
PM at the
what
moment.
and how
Like if we go 3v3, like one.
Okay,
like
I've just
one
got the
possibility
Discord
would-
up,
could
so
be like
you
if
can hear everybody talking and
um,
organizing.
Depends how much better Sarek is than Tant and myself. But if he's like on the ladder, then he might be like much better. Sarek. So I don't know. Technically, like me and Tant could team up with another player, and then like Sarek gets like 2 players which are like, well, less experienced than Tant or myself, and then Sarek's team probably will still win. But you know,
4 PM. So we have a few East Coast folks. Nice.
Figure something out.
Nice.
Doing
Doing well. I'm at work right now. Hopefully work's not too... Wait, it's must be weekend for you, right, Brad? So hopefully, you know, it's not too bad. Hopefully weekend work's not too bad for you. And a Restress, very nice. I think quite a few people in the Discord server and quite a few people on stream are also living in Germany or have the same time zone, so that's cool.
Okay. So, yeah.
we're still discussing how we're even gonna put the teams. If we are going to do 2v2v2 or 3v3 or even something else.
Yeah. Dom suggested like a 4v2. I don't know.
4v2.
Yeah, I don't know. Different mechanics. Like he should have like a good idea of like skills. I don't know. We could do stuff like for the content, like even if it like ends up not being like super ultra balanced, because at some point it's difficult to balance, right?
Yeah.
Like we had a nice balance with the team where the second game we played, right? Where I played with you, Kaito, and with Kande, and when it was really close actually, right? So that worked, but because Beats is good, like Beats would be like also a good addition to have. But yeah, I think time zones are like not easy to accommodate, of course.
True.
So yeah, like what was the last thing that Dom was suggesting? I forgot it. Like he said some 4v2, but what was the idea?
4v2.
I mean, the idea was not like pretty cooked, so I didn't have a full like plan figured out yet.
Okay, no, because I'm like really up for anything. I just need to like
just start with a 3v3 and see how it goes.
Okay, and what are the teams then?
Cyrac plus 2 newer players and...
Okay.
I'd say then Captain Meow and Cyrac in one team, definitely.
Yeah, I'm newbie.
But a baby.
Bubble.
I was about to say that as well.
Don't resist.
Kiara Gangimari baby emote.
No, please, no more baby.
That's gonna happen.
And then either Kaito or me, I'd say.
So you want 2v2v2? Or
Oh, it might be 3v3, I think.
3v3.
Yeah, 3v3.
Now I'm not sure who of us. You'd suggested Tanto and Unity in one team, and that leaves me and Kaito. So I'm not sure where we should.
Basically, what I think Dom said earlier. I think was Dom's list.
Yeah, Dom suggested you and Unity in one team, and then I said, well, and to balance that out, Cyrac and Captain Meow definitely in one team, and that leaves Kaito and me.
And then I think we'd probably split the two of you between the two teams. I'm not sure who goes in one team, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's exactly my question. Who of us goes in which team?
You can just do a roll on the Discord and see where you end up.
I mean, how do you get like the dice roll working again? You can just pick it that way,
that's
right?
pretty easy. You just do 1v2 and you get the result team 1 or 2. But that doesn't answer you which one is team 1 or team 2. So the easy thing is space. You go to Unity's team.
I go to Unity's.
2 is Unity's team in my mind.
2?
Okay.
Wait.
No.
Team 2
One
is... No.
Cyrac.
Cyrac
No.
and
In my mind,
Captain.
I just said
Okay.
Okay.
like
okay.
Unity.
Excuse you, you have your reality,
That's my
but you know,
suggestion.
Dom's got his
Yeah.
imagination, and that becomes the reality. Come on, get with the program, people.
Exactly.
All right.
So do we need to distribute into different voice chat?
Do we pick colors again?
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. I will go blue.
What is this?
I'll go.
Ferrari. The
pick
game audio is very
color
loud. Yes,
for
yes.
your,
Actually, it's just the main menu
You can't pick
audio.
the
The
same
main
color,
menu
so
audio kind
it'll
of
be like shared,
pops
on
off.
one-
It goes off. And then once we actually start the games, it's not going to be as loud. So
People like green again.
it's not going to be too bad once we actually get into the game. Sorry about that. Dan, welcome. Welcome.
I mean, the
How are you
team.
today, Dan? How are
sure.
you? Welcome.
Oh,
Glad you
yeah,
can
we'll
make it.
split into both
We
sides.
will split in team. So I guess Unity, Tant, and me in blue, and Cyrek, Meow, and Kaito in red.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Dominic and I will stay here to commentate. And actually, that does remind me. I will share my screen so you can see what he's going.
Sounds lovely.
Alrighty then. Good luck. Have fun.
Yep. Good luck, guys. Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
Oh, and Unity, let me know when you actually start. Question mark?
Oh, well.
Because we had a little... I'll just say it. 'Cause we had a little bit of a mishap in the last stream. Nobody told me directly when you guys were starting. So, like, I was tangenting and talking with chat for, like, 5 to 10 minutes before I realized, like, no, actually, they must have started by now. You know, I was like, oh, they haven't started, so let's just chat for a bit. And then after, like, 5-10 minutes, I was like, no, they surely have started by now. And then, yes, you guys were, like, already 10 minutes into the game. So, like, for a good 1-2 minutes, my capture age or my AoE was going at, like, you know, x10 speed to try and catch up.
Oi, oi, oi.
It's like, aye. Oh, that was funny.
Do we move to like group chats then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we need like 3 more readies and then we can start.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on.
Good luck, guys.
Also, it
Good
seems
luck.
like Cyrek won't communicate.
That's gonna
Fine.
be
They can ride.
well. It's gonna be difficult.
At least have them in your chat so they hear what you're talking.
Mm-mm.
Alright. See ya.
Yep, good
All
luck,
right,
guys. Good luck,
wait,
good luck.
What are we? Blue team, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, now it's way easier for us to just
Yep,
say a few things.
exactly. So, how have you been this afternoon and evening, Dominic? What have you gotten up to?
Pretty busy actually. It was like a lot of unplanned stuff. Just the usual things that happen.
Okay, because I know that you were just, you know, doing some upkeep around the home and everything like that, so... But actually, when I woke up, I checked like the, because I could see everybody was already in voice chat, and then I checked the Age of Empires channel. Were you guys like running games, like practice games?
Actually, I think like Meow was running one and another member who isn't here yet playing. They just try to like get a bit of experience into the game with AI, just like having a bit of fun, which is important. Like just having fun in this whole thing.
100%. All right. Tant has told me that they are starting. And I can actually spectate. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and load in. What map are they playing? It looks like Black Forest, actually. So, just to clarify for everybody, we have 2 teams, so this game is a 3v3. We have Unity Chad, and Unity Chad is teamed up with Space and Tant, and then they will be opposing Cyrek, who is teamed with Captain Meow and Kaito. So we can take a look, and it would be interesting actually to see like the early builds from some of the players, because I think we saw in the last stream that Tant was actually fairly experienced and had a pretty well optimized, you know, early build order, got into early castle, raided very proficiently. So it's the combination of the early build order combined with not only strategy, but, you know, sort of the micro aspect as well. Direct decisions, micro aspect. And it'd be interesting to see how that matches up against Cyrek, because I believe, Dominic, that you've recruited Cyrek as a little bit of a heavy hitter, because he seems to be, or they seem to be, rather experienced at the game already, potentially.
I mean, I didn't recruit, like, it was just like a few DMs in a group chat with Unity. And basically, he didn't say was not a good idea, so yeah, here we are. And I'm really excited about the gameplay of Cyrus, because I've heard a lot of things. I think in the whole life KFP fan sphere, Cyrus may be one of the longest term fans of Age of Empires.
Oh,
so this will be interesting.
Now we can already see that they've started to build a little bit of a villager lead on some of the other players. I mean, at the moment, it's still like very close. You know, we're talking about 9 to 10 villagers, but I do find it interesting that there is that little bit of, you know, an early lead, which may indicate potentially a really optimized build order in comparison to the other players. And we can see actually Sarek is already moving in with the Boar Law. Let's see if he's going to do the manual strat or if he's going to, you know, garrison into the town center for a couple of shots. He's just kiting. He's just kiting. He's duking. Was he waiting to fully exhaust the sheep? That's pretty efficient. Okay, no wasted resources at all. The villagers have 0 downtime. They go from, you know, killing the sheep, hunting the sheep, and then going straight for the boar. So 0 downtime in that build there, in that Boar Law. Very clever. Let's see what JP Unity chat is doing. So he's just currently working on the sheep. If we take a look at Space is also actually, I will have to say, Space has been one of the newer players that has really impressed me the most, because Space seems to have a really good grasp of first, you know, economic builds, and unfortunately, like, it hasn't translated to military success, especially against the more experienced players yet. But it will be interesting to see if, you know, that skill continues to develop, because I feel like Space Waterfall is someone who's learning very, very quickly and is able to grasp a lot of the aspects of the game. But if we take a look at some of the other players, now we have Tant, who was the most experienced player yesterday. He looks like he's pretty stable with his build as well. He's gotten the Boar Law successfully. And let's take a look a little bit to the other side. So we have Captain Meow, and Meow was, you know, as Dominic was saying, Meow was practicing a little bit earlier, but Meow is also one of the, you know, newer players that only just got into the game very recently with the interest of one Takanashi Kiara in Age of Empires recently. You know, we have a whole bunch of KFP that are getting back into the game, or getting into the game, which is good to see, because look, games like Age of Empires are some of my historical favorites. So to see it get like a new lease on life and a breath of fresh air and new people trying it out, you know, actually is just really enjoyable for me. So, you know, can't hate that at all. So we're taking a look now at Kaito, who is currently, he's already going into Stone. I wonder if he's planning. Oh, he's going for the Boar Law as well, which is pretty interesting. So I think maybe he's potentially seen some of the strats that other people have been trying out. But unfortunately, he's lost a villager to the boar, because the boar does a lot of damage. Right, it does a lot of damage. So if you're not able to kite your villagers successfully, you know, you may lose 1 or 2 villagers in the process, which is unfortunately what's happened to Kaito. And I think that's probably, you know, that probably just comes down to a little bit of experience, right? Because Kaito is one of the newer players as well. So that's a little unfortunate on his end, but otherwise he was able to get the boar, you know, done correctly otherwise. So it's not too bad. You lose a villager, but, you know, you gain a little bit of experience as a result, right? And if we take a look again with the villager lead, we can see that Sarek, he's hit his 20. He's like, all right, I've hit my 20, time to tech up. And if we compare it, he's just a little ahead of Tan, as we can see in Tan's build order. He's got that villager, and now he's teching up. So, you know, Sarek slightly ahead when it comes to optimizing that early build order. But any thoughts so far, Dominic, on the prospective early builds from all of our players today?
I'm really impressed about how we're like holding up and evolving Like, it's really interesting to see. They've played those maps now for a few times. They know the intricacies of the game, and they have really grown.
We can see Sarek has teched up, and we can see also that Tant and Space is also starting to tech up as well. Interesting.
Yeah, you can really see who's like experienced with the game and who is still like a newcomer. But that's why this team composition will be really interesting. I do think Unity and Tant are really good, but you already see that Cyrek has a bit of score bonus. So for those who don't know where to look at the UI, right next on the white panel where Cyrek's name is on, you all see the teams. And you also see which age we're in and the score. So yeah, 815 I think by now.
Yep.
And it's going up and up and up, and that's the difference between an experienced player and a non-experienced player.
What I wonder is how aggressive Cyrek is probably going to play. Is he going to let up on the brakes a little bit, or is he going to push with some early aggression? Because, like, again, Black Forest is a map that sort of trends towards defensive play styles, which is one of the reasons why it's one of the more common maps, and it's probably one of the more noob-friendly maps, I would say. Just because you have all those forests protecting you, you don't have to worry too much about outflanking and all of that kind of thing. You know where the enemy's coming from most of the time. Actually, before I get too much further on that tangent, I would like to see how well each of the teams have scouted their respective areas. So we're taking a look at Unity Chad's perspective right now, and he does have his solo scout moving around. And if we take a look at Space's perspective, it looks like he has gone ahead and scouted out his allies' bases to establish a line of sight. And if we take a look now at Tant, it looks like he's also trying to scout aggressively, and he started putting the palisade wall, started putting up the outpost, potentially to buffer against Meow, and he's also left himself an open spot there, so he might use that to move offensively. If we take a look at Meow's perspective, she's done actually a really good job. She's got a scout right now, and it's already gotten to the heart of Tant's town. So it'd be interesting to see, how well each of the prospective players have scouted. We can see that Kaito has scouted defensively at the moment. He knows where his allies are, but he is utilizing his scout as we speak to try and get a little bit more coverage over the area. And if we take a look at Cyrek, he's also scouted from one side to the other with his allies, and it seems like, he still has his scout, and it's looking like he's using it defensively at the moment. It seems like he hasn't scouted offensively and, snuck a peek into the other side as of yet. But if we take a look at... Okay, so Unity Chad does have his scout. Unfortunately, it is like standing a little bit idle at the moment, and it is a bit difficult with the
It is
micro.
really hard in the beginning. With my last game, it was really hard, and my scout had like idle times as well. And that's also a thing, like just keeping it. And it's not true in game with teammates. It's actually good to scout your own paths first, so you even know which resources your team holds.
Yes.
And I do like the map generation, because the last 2 times we played this map, we actually had a path in the middle of the forest, which a lot of nervousness and hey, something could happen in the middle was going through. This time, it isn't. Like,
yes,
it's just a narrow path, easier to defend. Should actually make it better for the people who are not as good in this game to succeed.
To succeed, exactly. The funny thing is with that, actually, now that you mention it, is that sitting here in commentary in both of those games, we made a really big deal about the gap in the forest, but they never actually, ended up being a decisive factor in those games, which was actually pretty funny. If we're talking about map control, I guess I feel like this area here is going to be pretty spicy, and it's the region in between Cyrax Town and Unity Chat's Town, because there are a lot of resources. There are 3 boars. There's a gold mine, there's a stone mine, you know, and I feel like this area might be, you know, hotly contested, which may prove being very pivotal who takes the day. Another thing I did want to mention though, as I was blabbing on about map control and fog of war and all of that stuff and early scouting, Cyrax has actually built a very strong villager lead on basically everybody else in the game so far. He's currently on 37 villages, and he's still pumping out more, whereas we can see Meow is currently on 28, about to be 29. Tant is on 28, Unity Chat is on 27, with Kaito 23 and Space at 19, you know, holding up in the rear. And we can see it says Kaito's villagers under attack. Yeah, but yeah, and I guess that just goes to show the strength of the, you know, of the optimized build order, because we can see that, you know, Cyrax, I think he's pumping them out. He's definitely pumping them out, and I would estimate that at this portion he probably could tech up to castle if he wants, but I think he may be going for like a more defensive boomy strat, to be honest. Another thing to mention is that Unity Chat is building a couple of double walls rather aggressively in this area to try and deny Cyrax, you know, access to the resources in this area. I'm not too sure if Cyrax is, like, at this point, I don't think Cyrax is going to go for early castle age aggression. I think that he's building up his economy for the long term. He might be going for the Imperial Age and relying on, you know, late game siege, late game trebs, late game units to actually make his attack.
I'm really excited if your prediction will come true.
Oh, I might be wrong, because it looks like he is taking to castle. Maybe he's just that much faster than everybody. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the thing, because I think he will be an Imperial Age the fastest of all of them.
Yes.
Easily. Actually, and it's really interesting for our viewers probably too, that to see how a casual gamer and like a this is like the competitive level. But there's not, if you look at the numbers, yeah, they are different, but it's just like a little bit of difference, which snowballs in an hour-long game, of course, but it's nothing impossible. They aren't like clicking at 500 actions per minute.
Yes. You know, your entire game isn't just you know scrolling through the hotkeys because you know where everything is intuitively already. You've committed all the hotkeys to muscle memory. So like, you know, the majority of newer players
super aggressive.
Yes.
That's the other thing. And in like StarCraft, if you will play the Zergs now, you would have already had the first rush and something like that. Super fast. This game actually allows you to build a base first.
One thing I am interested in seeing though, it's that Tan has already built quite a few early units. I think that he's the only player so far to invest significantly in military, and obviously as a result, his villages are falling behind in comparison to Cyrax, and you know he's not currently teching up. His Cyrax and Meow as well is also about to get in castle at just about the same time. Wow, impressive! The two of them have synced together at exactly the same time. But the thing I was interested in was just to see, you know, if Tant is going to try and utilize this early military, or if he's just using it as a, potential defensive measure, as opposed to an aggressive one. But now that Cyrax has a little bit of a lead economically, and now he's got a bit of a tech lead, he's got the research lead, he's already starting to construct his second town center, he's identified the stone line. Okay, town center number 2 going up. I wonder if the Unity Chat is going to be in a position to, to tech up. It looks like Unity Chat is starting to tech up, but that's the thing though. That's the thing with with high level play, is that small advantages snowball into larger advantages over time. So it'd be interesting to see how this does actually play out, and we can see that Team 1 does have a noticeable villager lead, I would say, on Team 2. So they may have the stronger economy, but at the moment, Team 2 has a few more military units. However, if they're not being used to raid, then, if they're just used in a defensive measure, then the economic lead is probably gonna be more important overall, I would feel.
Yeah,
But it
I
would...
very much agree. It'll actually be interesting to see how
wait,
the text...
people are calling
oh.
Fs in chat. I'm not sure what's going on. Did someone get disconnected or something, or what happened? I don't know.
Me neither.
I just saw people like saying F's in the chat, and then everybody started spamming F. What's going on? I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, so it seems like everybody in Team 2 is there. So JP's teching up. Space Waterfall is.
I'm
about
actually
to
not
tech
even
up.
seeing the Fs you were mentioning, but it's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's coming
Yeah.
up on. It was coming up on my screen. I'm not too sure. Maybe
Oh, okay.
maybe they noticed. Maybe they noticed Cyrac got into Castle Age so quickly. They're like, all right, it's over. It could just be a team thing. It
No,
could,
no,
it's an
it's
everything. It's everything. It's everything. So I was just looking. Maybe I was like leaking team chat by mistake, but no, it was everyone messages, so it wasn't just to the team. The scout died, says Herkan. Good spot. Good spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we can see that
The
Cyrac.
Scout Eye, and the other thing I'm really impressed with is like they both are kind of trying to keep up with technologies. But if you look at who is researching the technologies, Unity is researching a few technologies, but on Team 2 it's not looking that well. Well, they don't have massive armies yet, so
Yes,
it's not
yes.
like it makes a huge difference.
One thing
in
I-
the long term, if they forget to make a blacksmith, for instance, like that one game we had,
Like
before,
that one game, that may
that-
prove to be a potential, yeah. Okay, one
Exactly,
thing I'll
that
say,
may prove to
we
be like
may
a
start to see actually a first engagement. Tant has started to move out some of his units. On the other hand, Cyrac actually has a couple of knights ready in preparation for a raid. So it'd be interesting to see how this engagement's going to go, because we see a few pikemen, but they're not going to out-trade knights. And I think both teams are starting to see each other's units, and Tant might think that he has the early advantage catching a couple of knights off guard, but here comes the cavalry in a very literal sense. We can see him try to micro out, but I'm not sure if it's... he's taken out a couple of knights, but he's losing his units as a result. So it'd be interesting to see if he can out-trade with these 3 pikemen, because all of his archers, his skirmishers are dead. I mean, you know.
It's a knight to us. It's like knights are pretty beefy, and even if the unit composition doesn't look bad, just having enough knights.
Yes. The other thing to mention was that, you know, these are base level archers, these are base level skirmishers. Like they're not going to be able to do much. And what I find very impressive here on behalf of Cyrac is that when he won the engagement, he immediately started taking his knights into a more aggressive measure to see how well Tant's defenses are going to hold up, because he knows that he's taken out the early defense force, the early raiding force. So Tant has to react to him, which is a complete reversal to what we saw yesterday, whereas Tant was able to take the early initiative and force his opponents to react to him. Cyrac now has taken the early initiative and is forcing Tant to react to him, because if we take a look here, you know, some of the palisade walls, they're going to go down, and these scouts, you know, Space Waterfall sends his scout F's in the
I do
chat.
love the walling of the house.
Yes.
This is like, it's a good defense, because the moment they get inside of your economy,
Yes.
you're pretty screwed, and this house will go down.
Oh, the house has gone down. The villagers are... the villagers are at risk here. I think Tant is actually in a lot of trouble. He's starting to mass a bit of pikemen. The majority of his town is still safe at this time, but he's lost like 5 villages, and I think Cyrac, I don't know, is he going to push? Is he going to continue to push? I think he will. I think he will, because
I very much think he will, and he will just wait for a bit of like reinforcement.
Reinforcement.
Yeah, I mean, a few knights are actually on the way.
Oh, the
To be
knights are
honest,
going
they
into
just
the
caught
town.
Up.
We have a
Exactly,
few
now
pikemen.
they've caught up.
But this is going to be a
But
very
the mobility
important...
of the knight is important here.
Yeah, so I think the micro is actually going to be important here. I will say, though, that the pikemen have actually done a fairly decent job of taking out a couple of the knights, but, you know, the micro playing out, and we can see them take out the archers almost with impunity. The crossbowmen, you know, they just get taken out in a couple of shots. And the knights have been repelled, but you know, Tan does have to dedicate a significant amount of time, energy, and resources, and now he has this giant hole, you know, in his town. So, you know, I would score those points definitely in favor of Cyrek because he was able to take the initiative, and we see now replenishments already happened.
the
you
next
know,
one,
the
exactly.
next wave is
And
already coming.
And you already see the game thinks the score is higher too by 1,000 already.
Yes,
So
yes.
just looking at the numbers, you see, okay, this is a player who knows how to make reinforcements, and this stream of knights will not end so fast.
And we can see Tan actually starting to build stone walls to try and push them off for the time being. He's actually deleting some of his wooden fortifications and wooden houses too to make space, which is, you know, a little unfortunate, but actually pretty clever.
Yeah, it's the only defense you
Yes,
have because, like, realistically speaking, palisade walls are just butter.
Yes, they are. And I think seeing those stone walls, Cyrek understands, like, okay, you know, I'm not going to get through here with his knights, but we can see that because he's won the initial engagement, he's setting up, you know, he's setting up rather offensively. He's building stables, he's building archery ranges, and now that he's got that map control, he knows that he's in a good position to continue pressuring from that end. Whereas at the moment, because of his large economic lead, if we take a look at the villages, he's on 85 villas already, Dominic. You know, everybody else is hovering within the 40 to 50 mark. That's a huge economic lead, and because he's been able to win the initial engagements and push, you know, Tant back and force him to play defensive, force him to expend his resources just to rebuild his town, you know, he can, you know, build up, he can tech up, he can boom up rather comfortably. If we take a look
and we talked about it in the after talk. It got cut from the stream, unfortunately.
Because my computer crashed.
Like having 100 to 120 villagers is actually like the good thing. You want to have that many villagers because every chimp can count. Every villager produces valuable resources, and it will snowball into a victory that way. If you have double as many resource gathering people as the opponent, this is a big help. So I'm really excited about now the next army
next
he's
phase,
building, because you can already see
he's already teched up to Imperial.
He teched up to Imperial, and he already is trying to get a bit more diverse.
This is really clever. So he's actually got. Oh, I wonder if he's going to go for the Onega play. Maybe he might, because he's got the outpost here, Cyrek. He's got an outpost on the border of his territory, and I think he can actually view a good amount of yes, I was gonna say he can view a good amount of JP's territory. He's got the woodcutters and everything on that on the other side. He's actually got a ram out to start taking down the stone wall, but he's also bringing through a mangonel. So I wonder if he's gonna take pot shots at those villages. I'm not sure if JP can't see it. Unity chat can't see it. If you take a look at his field of view, he actually can't see the mangonels, and that is, you know, one of the risks that you carry by not having outposts. This is the line of sight difference. We can see the villagers can't even see what's hitting them, but they're getting taken out. They're getting taken out. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was a really good snipe, and all you need is one snipe because you push those villagers out of the way. If they're not collecting wood, if they're not collecting resources, then they're not doing a whole lot for their team. And we can see also that Cyrek is quietly just demolishing Unity Chad's wall. Unity Chad does have knights, he does have pikemen, so he can defend for the time being. But if we take a look at where the players are at, you know, Unity Chad has 63 villagers still in castle. Cyrek has 90 plus villagers already in Imperial. You know, those walls are going to be very important. He's already started to cut through. He's already started to oh my god! He's gotten through the forest! He's gotten through the forest, Dominic! Oh my goodness. And his knights are coming in and they're rushing. I believe that Unity Chad probably will have the capacity to push this raid off for the moment. But, you know, that's only for the now. It still puts him so behind, and it enables, you know, Cyrek to continue building, to continue booming, to continue replenishing, to continue taking up with impunity. And so that is That is what happens, unfortunately, when you yield the initial advantage, when you yield the initiative. Very clever play from Cyric there, from one hand, to scout, you know, the edge of his border very effectively, because you talk about it a lot in the post games, Dominic, about the outpost. The outpost coming in clutch because he had that line of sight that Unity Chad didn't, and it's been able to allow him to punch a hole through the natural wall of the map and come through with his knights. And the town center is just about destroyed. The villages are going to... It's very difficult to come back from this point because the second town center is already destroyed, and he's already got cavaliers up and going. So if Unity Chad wants to counter with pikemen or knights, they're probably not going to be able to trade 1v1. You take a look, all those villages, a dozen villages just dead on the field. Oh my goodness, Cyric is really going at it. But while all of this is going on, because he's been able to develop his economy so comfortably, he's got his buildings already on the wall of Tantramo's base. So it's like he's put himself in a fantastic position by taking the early initiative. Once again, highlighting the importance of an optimized early build order. And unfortunately, this is probably just the difference between more casual players and more experienced ranked level players.
Exactly, and it's really nice to see that the mobility will be used too. It's like, okay, oh, now it's the next battle.
we have the next engagement. Unfortunately, it seems that Cyric seems to have... Okay, he recognizes
but
that...
he knows this
he
is
knows.
also good. Yeah, he recognizes he does not...
But he's building the
need
castle.
To take this engagement.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
I was going to say the micro is on point because he knows he doesn't need to take the engagement. He can just rest up behind his walls. He's got the villager lead. He's got the tech lead. He's got the economic lead. He's got the military lead. He can just hang back because he knows that Unity Chad doesn't have capacity for siege. So all he needs to do is just get a castle up, and then he can attack when he wants to. He can attack when he chooses to. Like, he's got his knights there, right? But as all of this is going on, Unity Chad's actually lost his wall. He's actually lost his fortification, and we can start to see Cyric start to poke through with that single cavalier. And if that cavalier can get through unassaulted, then the rest may soon follow. He's actually trying to use his cavalier to sneak in from behind. He's lost it!
Sending him to death!
He's lost it!
Okay, this was probably just like a voting mistake. Like,
yeah. It might have been that he just grouped all of his cavaliers together, and then the AI just decided to go through the base to try and meet up with the others. It happens from time to time, but we can see definitely the benefits of the early initiative, the benefits of the early economic lead. We can see, you know, Tan try to keep up. He's got 41 units now. He's got 81 villas. But we can see at 105 villas, I mean, you know, the economy is basically set up. I almost like to see, villages to military units at slightly above a 50-50 rate, where you have maybe 100 to 110 villages, and then the rest you reserve for military, because it means that it doesn't just mean that you know, like, okay, you don't have the quote-unquote largest army, but it means that you have the economy to support consistent production. So if your army goes down, your next army is almost already ready to go. And that's
exactly, and we're always reiterating that, right? The economy is that thing that wins you the game, not the military.
Yes.
The military wins you the battle. So,
yes.
And that is the thing, like, just being aware and always producing the villagers. You now see 103 villagers is more than double than other people here in this game, which is like amazing.
Very much so. Very much so. I will say that. Well, it's actually I will say it's rather reminiscent of the way that Tant played yesterday, wherein he's already started bringing through his Savars, his unique units, and they've just come back into Unity Chad's territory. The pikemen are there. The pikemen are okay. So Unity Chad's got the pikemen. He's ready to go. And smart micro by Cyric to say, okay, look, I don't need to take this engagement. I can just move back. Unfortunately, Unity Chad not having the same level of micro, losing a couple of skirmishes, you know, to the errant castle arrows. But now that he comes back opening with siege, he's already starting to counter it again.
Oh, this will be a this may be a massacre, and
the villagers go down. The villagers go down. It's exactly what we saw in the previous game with Tant, wherein if you're able to build up earlier, you can take the initiative. And if you take the initiative, you can force your opponents to build in a way that you can then counter. So this is a very well done by Cyrac. And I think that, look, if Unity, Chad, Tantrumo, and Space are going to win this game, I actually think that they need to be aggressive and knock out another player while they still can. You know, while Unity, Chad, you know, is still able to hemorrhage the damage to his town, is still able to stem, you know, the hemorrhaging, they need to like try and take out another player. That said, I think everybody is sort of like built up defensively, so that's easier said than done. We can see he's already starting to move with Siege Onegers. He's leading this time with crossbows, knowing that Unity, Chad, has invested heavily into infantry to try and counter that early night rush. Again, we're talking about the initiative. We're talking about the ability to force your opponent into a build that you can then counter. Okay, the Savars are coming out. They can see the pikemen. You know, they're just running through the town at the moment. And Unity, Chat, unfortunately, has to give up the outer part of his base. You know, I thought it was really smart map control to try and build aggressively and take, you know, this area for himself, because it was in no man's land, but it had the gold mines, it had the stone mines, but it sort of backfired on him simply because Cyrac has been able to build quicker than him. If we take a look now, that's an aggressive castle. That's a good castle, because while he has map control with his military units, then he can sort of put his stamp on it and say, okay, look, you're not taking this area back. I've got my castle here. Savars are going to be coming out soon. Okay. Oh, we can see actually. Let's take a look. Unity Chad looks like he. Okay, so it looks like they have identified what I called earlier, and Unity Chat is actually starting to funnel a few funds to Tant, because I think Tant may be going for a bit of an attack on this particular site. He started to get Trebs up. You know, they're trying to break down Meow's castle, but Meow is also starting to build Trebs up as well. And, you know, the villagers have done a pretty good job at building up the castle. Meow does have some light cavalry and cavalry archers. So, I don't know. I guess it's just a question of who's going to capitulate first. Is Meow going to capitulate to Tan, or is Unity Chat going to capitulate to Cyrac? But considering how aggressive Cyrac has been playing and the lead that he's developed, you know, I feel like Unity Chat is really on the back foot here. Look, they've built up well defensively. They've been able to sort of restructure, and actually Tan has sort of sent the majority of his forces to help out Unity Chat, which, you know, it makes a lot of sense because he's getting, you know, rolled in one direction. But I'm not too sure if it's gonna help too much, because also, you know, Tan has also heavily invested in halberdiers. You can see it there. He's got these halbs. Yeah, but you can see that Cyrac has already transitioned into heavy crossbows. You know, they've got the Savars that to sort of help keep, you know, the heavily armored Savars to sort of trade 1v1, but then they've also got the huge crossbow stack to beat any potential pike stacking, which is what's happening, you know, with both Tant and Unity Chat. So, you know, by forcing his opponents to build one way, you know, you just build another. Hawkins called out another Wonder Gambit in the chat.
Oh yeah.
In before. Oh, that would be pretty interesting.
It is like that. Yeah. Like, to be fair, I wouldn't put it past Cyrac to just dominate the thing, but like you said, there are like there are two battles in the Nova versus Battle 2. It's getting interesting.
This is an interesting micro battle, because we can see the Savars and then the halberdiers combined with crossbows and arbalisters, and we can see actually that the Savar stack is going to go down, but then you're probably going to lose the halbs at the same time. And I think that the stacking from Cyrac on the crossbows may win out this engagement, simply because his economy has enabled him to have more resources to play with. Now, I will say, from both players, very impressive micro. We can see initially that Cyrac tried to snipe the arbalisters of Tant using his Savars, but, you know, Tant was able to do a very good job in building that wall of halberdiers to ensure that, you know, his squishy arbalisters, you know, could do, you know, what damage that they could. But unfortunately, the weight of numbers proving just to be a little too strong there, right? As we can see again,
and that's the death ball of Arbalest. Just like having enough arbalests together, where it's 46 now, not 47 anymore. But yeah, having enough of them really. Oh, but the natural enemy, the Omega,
Yes,
is already in
is
position.
already in
It's just
position.
like,
Yes. I will say Sarek's map control is very good overall, because essentially, you know, he's very proactive. As he's advancing with his military, he's also going back and sending some villagers. Because look, even at this point, he still has a huge villager lead on the other players, so he can afford to send a few villagers out to just build buildings and continue to build forward positions, and that makes it incredibly difficult. Because if you beat the armies, you've still advanced your position, and if your economy is strong enough to keep producing units, then it's much easier for you to just keep pushing and pushing. You know, so we talk a lot about initiative, we talk a lot about early build orders, and you know, this is really why. I'm not sure what okay, I was gonna say, like, a lot of Tan's halberdiers are moving very aggressively. I think that just might be a rally point thing. He might have just put it there as like, okay.
But there can be an issue of just sending one unit after another, especially if you're and
he's pulling them back.
Exactly.
He's
pulling it back.
Yes.
Because especially against Arbalest, that's a death sentence.
Yes, exactly.
Having 40 Arbalests just take one shot at you. It's,
yes, and then you're
over.
done. One shot, one kill, especially if you're going in one at a time. But it looks like he is trying to support them with Onagers, and he might actually catch that stack a little off guard.
This is very interesting, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is though, that Sarek is moving heavy in order to extract those sweet resources, the gold, the stone, you know. But, you know, that was one of the reasons why this particular area to me would be... oh, wow.
Oh, and the fight starts now.
The fight starts, you know, Sarek has been pushed back a little bit, but he still has a very strong defensive position by the castle. You know, he still has his
This is like, it's not an issue. Like, he has enough stables in that position, and he cannot be pressured that much. You see how big the army is at this point. The only issue is the terror at the moment, because the Onagers are really good at picking out every unit through a funnel.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That's the only thing that is actually keeping them alive. If this would be Arabia, I'm pretty sure Cyber would just...
Yeah, he would have just moved his Savars in, because then you can micro out of, you know, all of the volleys. Unfortunately, the bottleneck that's caused by the forest makes that incredibly difficult. So it's probably best not to engage for the time being.
But you've maybe seen the bombard cannons by Cyber a bit south at the castle, slowly moving in. And both have amazing reach. And as long as Cyber can see the enemy, because bombard cannons can shoot forward when they can even see. This will be
okay, the bombards are starting to go down. Okay. Ooh, okay. Oh, they can see the castle. And they're disengaging. This is actually... I will say this is pretty good.
And an outpost, that's a good play. That's a great play, having an outpost.
Having an outpost just there. And he can try and safely build a castle, but that said, the bombards are there, and if they take out some of these Onagers, so this is really really heavy on micro. The huge stack of bombards though. One volley is deadly. On the other hand, a volley, the return volley from the Onagers are deadly too, so yeah, good micro from both players, to be honest. You know, both of them are really trying to micro themselves out of it. I would say that Tant had the better of the exchange resource-wise, but because Sarek has the stronger economy and he has more resources accumulated, I don't think he minds that much.
And this may be the end of the bombard cannons.
I don't know, because Tant is hesitant to engage too much past that stable since the castle is there. So it's really not worth it. We can start to see some trips firing coming in from space. So they're going to take out that stable. I think that stable, you know, like that stable's probably not tactically important at this point. But, you know, it is...
Could you go to the castle
yes.
like Meow?
Yes. It seems like...
There was not like a synchronized attack on...
hold on. Wait. Tant might get his.
Is actually big.
He's
Yes,
getting.
they are
He might be
actually
getting
targeting.
his trebuchet sniped potentially.
And Tant won't even know. Oh, he noticed.
He does
Okay,
notice. He does notice. But does he move it? Does he get it out of there? Because it's packed right now, and it's down. So he's lost
And
it.
it's dead.
He's lost it.
That was a nice shot.
That was a good snipe there from Meow. Very well done. You know, defending that castle and making it difficult for Tan. Because again, Tan's mind is sort of split two ways because he's got to deal with all of the stuff going on outside of Unity Chad's base while at the same time trying to aggress, you know, on Meow's end. And it's difficult to split your mind two ways.
Exactly, and it's three ways even because.
Oh no!
can't be
Unfortunately,
neglected as well.
we can see Unity Chad. Like he's got the paladins, he's got the knights, but unfortunately he's gotten hemmed in.
Yeah.
And now, oh my god! And now his paladins
he's just
are
getting
assaulted
decimated.
from all sides. They're just wiped out. You know? Oh my god!
And that
And he's
was
gonna have to
bad,
move
yes.
his troops back. Unfortunately, he did not have the massive units to try and challenge, and he also got countered as well. That's a little unfortunate on behalf of Unity Chat. It looks like Sarek is trying to make a play for those trebs. But do they sneak in? They sneak in!
Oh,
they
sneak
sneak
in, perfect.
Huge
And this
damage!
will be actually
Oh
a
my
huge
god!
thing if he
They've
plays it right.
snuck in! Okay, it seems like JP might be able to defend his base, but look, you know, someone's let the cavalry into the chicken coop, and the Savars, after demolishing most of Unity Chad's standing army, he's only got 8 military troops. They're stuck in there. So it's
Yeah,
the
but
history.
they are stuck in there. They cannot come out.
Exactly,
which is
exactly.
A good thing because
But
he
then
now.
that's the thing, though. But you can see the town center. It's a matter of, I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me, because we can see the Savars take down the town center, and we can see them butcher those poor villagers. You know, the castle will
Yes.
play a role in defending that position. But I would say overall
But
a big win from
the Pierce
Siren.
armor will actually hold up because the Savars are pretty bulky.
They're
And
pretty
if they just
tanky.
run past
They're
it,
pretty tanky.
They may actually just.
Oh, they've got
be
the
able
okay,
to
they
melt
snipe
the
the
base.
mangonel, and they're actually going for the attack on the castle. They're saying, look, it
Yes.
doesn't matter if we get the castle or not. If I'm stuck in here anyway, I'm gonna push the initiative. I'm gonna do some damage. Your villages, your farms, your houses, give them to me now. There's no point. Because if they're stuck in there anyway, they might as well get as much damage as they can. We can see Sarek still has the economy. All of this is happening in the middle of Unity Chad's base. He doesn't need to worry about his production going down the drain. He can just rebuild those Savars later on. And we can see Tant has come in with a
To be
halberdiers.
fair,
And it
if
seems
you
like...
just look at the score right now, like Cyberk has double the score of Unity. And the other player will notice this. This is like a big thing. So yeah, I'm kind of rooting for Unity at this moment. Like I hope he can like prepare, because he is now really lacking the economy.
Yes,
and
the
units.
military, and it seems like Tant is almost having to do double duty, trying to keep his friends alive. But it's
Yes.
difficult because he can't aggress Meow at the same time. And those Savars, they look like they've gotten through, and they're just butchering
Yeah,
these
just
Arbalists. It's
melted.
unfortunate for Tant. He's trying to micro them to try and snipe them off. And look, he may have some of them survive, but a very clever play from Sarek, sniping those weak ranged units
They're
with their
also
heavy cavalry.
fully tagged out.
Yes.
Like they have like Pierce armor. You can see that the yellow bar with the text just fully built out.
Yes.
So this is the right play.
Okay, we can see they've won okay, so they've been able to successfully defend the position. But they may lose their castle as a result.
Yeah,
because
if
as all
they
of this
lose
has
the
been
castle-
happening, Kaito snuck in with the siege. And he's got in. Just a couple of volleys is all you need with those trebs. And the
Exactly.
castle's about to go down. There you go, castle down. We can see both sides are defending their troops. The trebs go down, but they've done their job for the time being. Castle down, and potentially the capacity to push. Because if we take a look, Sarek has still got a very, very strong military. Okay, it looks like Space Waterfall and Tant are moving in, but I think that this is a losing battle for them because they've got the Janissaries on the other end. They've got the crossbowmen on the other end. They've got the castle. They're going to get shredded in gunfire and in arrows, but this clutch. Onager coming through, just demolishing all of the Janissaries. People are going down left and right. You can just see corpses, blood everywhere. Both teams are starting to disengage, but everybody looks like they've taken a little bit of a hit in that engagement. So it remains to be seen.
Already rebuilding the
yes,
castle. This is like, yes. Oh my god, this is like high octane.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward how much aggression will be because we should not stop.
Sarek has already replenished his armies. He's already got the Savars back up and going. Unity Chat has a few paladins. Okay, it looks like now we've had, you know, some of the more infantry units go head to head. Now we'll see the heavier units go head to head. Unfortunately, Sarek with the superior micro getting through to those arbalists. And Unity Chat unable to protect them with the paladins. But Tanta Onager's doing a number on Kaito's champions. They're getting to the castle. They're trying to prevent it from getting built up. It's so close to getting there. Huge carnage everywhere. Paladin on Paladin. Paladin on Savar. Onager's on everybody. Kaito even has some monks there. Please pray for them. They're already going down. The castle goes up. And they are able to successfully defend their position. But for how much longer, Dominic? Because as we can see, Sarek has already started to rebuild the troops. He's sucking up all those resources. I shouldn't make that joke.
Yeah, he's just using.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's sucking up all that gold, all those resources, as if he's the U.S. military in the Middle East. But no.
well said. To be honest, the other issue is now, if he sucks up all the resources, it will be really hard to replenish because experienced players will be much better.
Yes,
at sucking up the
we can
resources
see
fast,
as
but
well.
If they are gone, they are gone.
Yes, we can see as well, Sarek using some market plays to try and obtain more gold, sacrificing some of his food and wood. So we know right now that Sarek is still in a phase where he wants to build the high quality units. He doesn't want trash in his armies. He only wants the best. He wants his Savars. He wants his crossbowmen. He wants his siege units. So it remains to be seen whether the other team will be able to recover, because if we take a look, you know, Unity Chad is still very, very behind economically. He doesn't have the same amount of resources to draw from because he's lost no man's land to Cyrek. Now, there's a little bit of a lull in the hostilities, which is pretty good because my voice is busted up. You know, crusty and dusty. Not just the name, but the voice as well.
Well said, Krusty. Yeah, but I would actually like to see a few creative ways to just go around those really fortified positions right now. Because the south is just fortified to a stupid amount where there's a choke point. The armies will just lose and battle against each other. This will be going on for a while. But can they actually get out of the stalemate? Are there creative solutions like the one we saw earlier, just putting your own path into the wall?
Yes, potentially. It will be interesting. I do think that I actually do think that there is potentially a bit of action that may happen, because if we take a look in Meow's base in particular, like I think, look, a lot of the focus right now is in the south, outside of Unity Chad's base, because Sarek has a very offensive setup. You know, and we can see all of the other players coalescing there. But I do believe that there is some potential in the other front to see some action. There's actually a hole in Cyrek's wall. Just as I, you know, scouted the possibility, he's snuck in those hussars. He's actually pulled a play out of your playbook, Dominic, and snuck in some hussars into the base. But we can see now Tant reacting very quickly with his own hussar stack, focusing on that siege. So Sarek trying to play a little bit sneaky. He's trying to do the dirty Dominic, but it's not really paying off because Tant is aware. He watched the last stream. He knows the plays. He knows what's going on, and we can see another engagement. Hussar on hussar action this time, and I feel like Tant is probably able to hold on to his territory and not suffer too much from that potential raid. Very, very nicely done. Yes, I did think that a break in hostilities would potentially happen, happen that way, because while everybody's focused, and we can actually see Space Waterfall now taking some initiative and banging on Cyrek's castle. He's got the Treb stack, and it's a very well fortified position because all of their armies are there. He might have said, look, your attention is up north, I'm gonna hit you down south, and it may work out because I don't see how that castle stands up. Space Waterfall has stacked a lot of Trebs.
Like, great play from Space and the team there. It's like, it just works.
It just works. Yes, it just works. I should start calling you Todd.
My pleasure. Frosty, my pleasure.
We can see now that Space Waterfall's, Trebs have actually punched quite a hole. And he's sending out some Savars.
The 2 units who are sending in, the other units are blocked behind the trebuchets.
Yes.
Like, this is not how you want it to be playing out.
Thankfully, they've had the Arbalester, so they're able to defend them.
Yes.
But that would have been a disaster if they just slowly lose the Trebs one by one. That would have been an absolute, absolute disaster. We can see, though, that Tant is starting to take an initiative against Cyrek. Trying to raid in that particular area. They've got the Trebs up. The Hussars are fighting each other. Kind of weird that at the engagement up north, they're not relying on a lot of units that utilize a lot of gold. Are we potentially starting to transition to another phase of the game where,
Yes, I do think we are already in the trash was because all of the gold of the map has gone. But you can also see the score lead. They are now actually pretty even.
Yes.
Like, both teams have caught up to each other. And now
they
are
fantastic
switching the
micro!
positions.
Look at Cyrek
Perfect,
One shot, 1 kill. And so Space Waterfall has the heavy unit composition advantage and may still win the day.
This is the right counter.
So
Like,
Cyrek
if anything can more this death ball, this will be it.
Yes, but Cyrek is doing a fantastic job microing and actually pushing with his Savars too. He's saying, look, my brain power, my experience in competitive is much stronger than yours, and though you may trade me 1v1, I'm going to make sure that you pay the price for that. That said, it seems like Space Waterfall is doing, a little bit better, and it looks like Captain Meow has been able to defend the other flank, as Cyrek may have been caught a little off guard in the north, because when you're doing micro like that, I don't think you have the capacity to fight multiple fronts at once. I don't know. Maybe if you're Viper, I don't know. But most people probably wouldn't. And it seems like for the time being, Cyrek has actually got a huge deficit in military units while he's trying to rebuild. So if I were Space, Unity, Chat, and Tan, I would probably try and strike now, because this is the moment that you can actually push while Cyrek is still trying to regenerate his army and potentially transition into an army that uses up less gold.
And the next castle will go down.
The next castle is going to go down. Space Waterfall coming in.
No,
clutch.
It's that. And that's the power of a group fight too. Like 1v1, Cyrek is like a super strong player. You will be at a disadvantage, but this is a group fight.
Yes, exactly. It's a team game. Yes, 2v1 is not something that they can do consistently, It looks like, okay, Meow is starting to apply a little bit of pressure north, and Cyrek has already got his Hussars. They're building a new gate, so they're going to go through. And he might go for another raid. But while all of this is happening, Unity Chad is coming in through the area with a huge amount of Scorpions, which is actually pretty good into potential crossbow stacks. And we can see he's coming in with the Paladins, he's coming in with the Halberdiers, combined arms in more ways than one. You have Unity Chad, Space Waterfall, and Tantramo all together. They've identified Cyrek as the big threat, and Space Waterfall's Trebs are pounding away at that castle, and Cyrek is desperately trying to rebuild it. He knows that if those castles on the outer side of his town goes down, then it is potentially a big issue. Yes, my goodness.
We now have two big fronts, one in Cyrek's base already, and the other one on north, and the southern front even has like the Teutonic Knights by Unity.
Yes, he's brought out the Teutonic Knights. Oh my god, slow, lumbering, expensive units. Unity Chat is coming in, rolled gold with the Teutonic Knights and the Paladins, but they're not pushing their advantage. They're waiting for Space Waterfall to break down that castle. Actually, not a bad strategy, you know, because Sarek right now is on the defensive. We can see, unfortunately, I think that Kaito has the units, he's got the trebs, but they're not pushing as aggressively in the north as the other team is pushing in the south. This is actually a very fascinating battle because both teams have the capacity to punch a hole in each other's town.
No military. This is the thing. Like now, it's the issue of production again. Like it's fine to have like 115 villagers now, but
but now that the resources have sort of drained from the map, you're not able to keep up as effectively, especially when you're fighting essentially 2v1. We can see the walls are down. The walls are down. So we can see he's sending out crossbowmen, but he's gonna come out and get greeted by a bunch of siege onagers to the face. Oh my god. But now we're seeing a lot more action in the north as well. So this is happening on all fronts of the map. This is happening, you know. I think that Kaito and Meow have identified that potentially, you know, Sarek is in a lot of trouble here, so they're trying to play a lot more aggressively. We can see that Tan's castles are starting to go down as well. They have the huge trebuchet stack coming in from Kaito, you know. Tan's coming in with his hussars, but they're also defended from some hussars from Sarek, and it'll be interesting to see which team can get the upper hand. Which team can demolish the other team's bases first? Because it seems like they're both pushing on both sides, and I feel like Tan has done a better job in trying to defend his base because he's zeroed in. He's focused in on those trebuchets. If you can't break my walls, if your trebuchets are down, then I can still hold my position. Whereas they're breaking through right now in Sarek's base. The combined arms, Unity Chad, Space Waterfall, Tantramo, they're all coming in. They all recognize that Sarek is probably the biggest threat in this game, so they want to take him down all at once. And it seems like I think Sarek's on the ropes here because his outer defenses are going down. His villages are exposed. His crossbowmen are getting demolished.
Exposed, but the villagers haven't been attacked yet.
Not yet, but it seems like Tan is going to be able to defend. Tan is able to defend his army because now that the military units are going down, the villages are exposed. The villages are exposed. The town is exposed. We can see them demolishing buildings one by one, killing off units one by one. There are no castles left, Dominic. There's no defensive structures left, Dominic. All of the military buildings are also going down as well. If you know, this team is quick with their raiding, if they're going in, you know, it feels like Tantramo is doing a better job of defending his front than Sarek is because of the combined arms. And even though for the majority of the game, it's incredible to see, right? What a twist. For the majority of the game, Sarek had the initiative. He was on the front foot. He was the strongest player. He had the strongest economy. He had the fastest armies. But it seems like he will actually be the first player eliminated the way things are going right now.
We already see like how the economy is like down. This is a huge detriment for the other team because like they couldn't break through at the north. They are pinging, but it's nothing is going to happen. I don't think. They can defend it.
Yes.
Oh yes. With this kind of army, it's very justified.
Yes.
Oh, this is a huge thing.
Yes, Tan. I think Tan is able to hold his position. Oh my God! This whole battle has just been. You know, it's been giving me chills, Dominic. It's been giving me chills. But that just might be. That just might be. Because I can see it now. That just might be the cold touch of the Grim Reaper. And I do mean that one, chat. Because we may just well see the end of a life. As we can see Space Waterfall, Unity Chad, and Tantramo going in to the heart of Sarek's base. The town center goes down. The villages are dead. I don't think they'll be able to survive. And it is quite possible that after such a strong early game, such a strong lead earlier in the game, that Sarek ends up being the first person eliminated from this match. Exactly. Tempter Talk says in chat, Sarek was too dangerous to be kept alive. Yes.
Yeah, it is really like he was too dangerous to be kept alive. If you look at the kill death ratio though, Cybex still, he lost a lot. He lost all his army. He had a kill death ratio of 450.
He still has
60 now.
He
This
still
is
has
amazing,
the
and it's
most
hard to
kills
say.
on the map.
It's-
He still has the most kills on the map. Nobody has
Yes.
more kills than him,
But
despite
he's
everything.
getting a lot of deaths now. So yeah, it's only going up. And with Tant the same,
Wow.
he killed a lot.
What
but his units
destruction.
died a lot as well.
Dominic, what
Yeah.
can man do against such reckless hatred? Oh my god.
You can try diplomacy, but this is only the only thing you can probably do in this kind of game.
Oh my god, we can see.
Yes.
I think it's over for Cyrek. I think it's over. And we can see now that Kaito is starting to come in for the save. But unfortunately, I believe it's too little, too late. Because the town is gone. We can see. Well, I don't know. Actually, Cyrek has started to rebuild. It's going to be very, very difficult. But he started to rebuild. I think he's still gearing up for
Yes.
round 2. Look, like I said, it's very difficult at this point, and I don't think he'll be able to pull it off. But props to him because he's not going to give up. He's not going to give up, you know? These Janissaries are actually doing some damage.
This can still like.
These Janissaries are doing some damage, but they're going to get caught up by Unity Chad's Paladins, and once they start attacking, it's probably a little over for them. One thing I will give props for though, is Tantrumer, because he was actually pivotal in helping Unity Chad defend his position in the south, but at the same time he was able to push back and hold back attacks in the north, because if his base had cracked, right? If his base had cracked and his town had gone under, then we could be seeing a complete reversal of results, or it could be a 2v2, you know?
I totally agree. And Tantamo was like the one who was carrying the other team together with Unity, and this just shows like if you have like players of
You
similar
might actually.
caliber can work
I
together.
say that,
Yeah,
but it seems like
can
they've
push
broken
sooner.
through.
This
Cyrek's
will be
broken through. He still has Hussars up. Oh my goodness. Did we call it too early? Did we call it too early, Dominic? He may have come back. You know, he had one foot in the grave, but he's taken the other foot and then gone back to the land of the living.
Exactly.
He's actually inside Tantrumer's base right now. I don't know how well they'll hold up against the
this is
castles,
exactly what
but
they
they don't
need.
necessarily need to hold up that well against the castles because they do have some siege. I think if Meow could, you know, potentially move those troops into position, they could take that castle out and they could pressure Tan
Yes.
really, really
They
heavily.
can just pressure.
They've gotten
And then that's
inside. The
thing
gates have
like
let them in. They've gotten inside.
Yes.
They've cracked the shell and
This
now
will
they're
be
coming in
huge.
for the squishy yoke. Oh my god. This game
And this is actually
continues.
Cyrex specialty.
This game
Like, this is not a
continues
Dirty
to
Dawn specialty,
amaze
this is
me.
a Cyrex specialty.
Is it?
This will be just like a massacre because in contrast to me, like Cyrex will not.
Oh
do any
my
mercy.
god.
Like both villagers
Tan's
will
losing
all
his
die.
entire economy.
No chance.
Oh my god, he's
Yes.
pulled the Uno Reverso card. No, you.
Exactly.
You
And
destroy
can-
my
you
town,
can
I
already
destroy
see
yours.
At the top bar.
Who
you can
would have
already
seen it
see
coming?
The economy is changing. Like
Oh
Unity's
my god,
team
in
had
real time.
a small lead. Now this is a huge reversal because I think every. Oh, can we actually fend it
Can
off?
they push though? Can they push? I guess it's just a
Maybe.
matter of which team can push fastest. Because Tan is losing all of his economy. He's losing a lot of
and Tan
villages.
actually is like they all are not well defended in that
No.
side. Meanwhile, Kaito and Meow actually are pretty.
They're pushing
densely
quite heavily. They're pushing
calculated at least.
really, really heavily. It's a matter of who gets to push hardest and who pushes more effectively. Because if they can get to Cyrek's town, and then they can also get to Kaito's town, then it might be very, very difficult. Because we have Tan. He's basically just saying, all right, he's accepted that his town's gonna go down to the shitter. So now we're gonna actually have a situation where it's more reliant on Unity Chad and Space Waterfall to try and win the victory for them against Kaito and Meow. Because it feels like Cyrek is still strong, but he's about to lose his town. We can see that Trebs are probably outside. Oh, but it seems like Unity Chad and Space Waterfall are pulling back. They're pulling back. Are they not? Do they not have enough troops to push? Oh, that looks like they're trying to save Tan. They've moved it. They've moved it to save Tan. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the right strategic play, but it does seem to be effective at the moment. It does seem to be effective at the moment, but Tan may have lost the majority of his town. I really feel like Space Waterfall and Unity Chad need to continue pushing because they're so close to Cyrek's last town center. And if they can get past the town center, then they can get to Kaito's economy as well. I feel like they should keep pushing. It seems like they're starting to push. But this is the nature of Age of Empires, people. Battles on multiple fronts. You know, attacks from multiple units. It's not just a linear one-track game. We have multiple war fronts going on at the moment. And I only have one voice. I only have one brain. And Dominic only has one voice and only one brain. So it's really, really difficult to try and keep up with all of the action going on. But we can see, perhaps we've made a little bit of a premature call on Cyrek because it seems like his raids have done a huge amount of damage, devastating through Tanjimo's town, economy, and villages.
They even did so much that if you see the top bars with the teams, Kaito's team is now actually leading in score.
Yes.
But the issue will be, can they actually do anything? And it seems like they can do a little bit. Let's see.
Okay, it seems like the north of the map, the raid has sort of been pushed back a little bit, but Meow is like accumulating a lot of siege. I think this might be a KO punch if Meow comes back with the clutch, because, you know, a lot of the teams are starting to resort to trash units. We have well entered the trash wars, but Meow has saved up a lot of the resources, and she still has a significant amount of siege, which may prove to be incredibly important. You know, Unity Chad better keep those trebs safe. If you ask me, you know, he's got those trebs there, and they just might get taken down by the hussars. If he loses them, that's going to be a huge issue. Cyrek's actually recovering. My God.
Yes, and that's a big thing, because if Cyrek would go down here, this would totally be a different game. And the other issue will be like, okay, can like Kaito and Meow now use the resources, because they do have a lot, but will they actually be courageous enough to attack the enemy?
We can see Cyrek is just going all in. He gives. Look at this man. Look at how much he's been able to regenerate in such a short time. Look at him go. Oh my God. Okay, never mind. I called my shot way too early. He's come back from the dead. Call him Zombie Cyrek, because you can't kill the man. Oh my God.
Like with Cyrek, this is really interesting. But Persians actually got a bit of a buff recently. So if one civilization can have a comeback in Imperial Age, Persians are pretty.
And Unity Chad's losing all his troops. What a huge turnaround. What a huge turnaround. I thought that people were here were all KFP. I didn't realize we had a zombie in the ranks. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I didn't hype Cyborg up for anything. It's like,
definitely.
There was a reason. I did say that. We have one KFP that is pretty much into this game, at not just a technical level, but also like a execution level.
Well,
this is really.
They've
fun
done
to
an
see.
amazing job. Look at that. Unity Chat overextending with the town center, and he's losing it all.
Yes.
He's losing it all. They, you know. Look at the military units coming out of Cyrek. He has 33 villages, but 140 military units. He's saying, look, I've hoarded all of the resources based on my early game lead. It's time to use them.
If you look at Town Space gets now shredded. If you look at where wasn't it? Oh, I think it was like an attack, but it's already died here. Yeah, it's like, oh no, it's getting shredded actually. Like Town Space is getting absolutely shredded. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, this is like now the return from the dead on multiple fronts. Oh, wow. But it's still not over yet.
It's still not over. It's still not over because, yeah, I would say that Unity Chat and Space still have the capacity to turn this around, but it's going to be very difficult. I think Tan has lost a significant amount of his economy, and he's only now just starting to rebuild. And it's gonna look. They've all got resources that they've accumulated over the course of the game. So, none of it are out of it yet. But it seems like we're just moving into another phase. It seems like we're moving into another phase.
And I mean, Tant has 12 villagers. Let's face it, 12 villagers is something that Tant will have like for 10 seconds in this game usually.
Yes, he's already starting to build because he's got the town center up, and we can see in the queue there's more villagers coming. So, we say 13, but that's not gonna last forever.
Yeah, but see how many military units are around this town center. I do not think this will be much of an
he's not saving his original base.
Down.
He's not saving his original base. Yes.
Exactly. Like, that one is just lost, and to be fair, Persians are a bit better at coming back than Ethiopians.
Emret?
Oh my goodness, if you take a look at, the military production and the military output of all of our players right now is actually incredibly skewed towards Cyrek, Meow, and Kaito. Like, we can see all of them have militaries over 100, whereas the other side of Unity, Chad, Tan, and Space, none of them have over 100 units. And we can see a lot of them are stacked into Hussars, right? So if we truly start to see, Trash Wars incarnate, then we will start actually, we'll get into a longer stalemates, because we'll start to see, castles become worth their weight in gold, as it will be harder to take them out without siege. But it does seem like, in saying that, it does seem like Meow and Kaito do still have some siege available. And look, personally, you can see Unity Chair trying to make some trebs out of this castle. Okay, that's good that he's garrisoned them, because I think that's a very risky move to build trebs out of your forward castle, knowing that the enemy's on the other side. Like, that's very, very dangerous. If anything, I feel like they should probably try and build an outpost at a certain point so that they can get a little bit more field of view.
I totally agree, because this is very dangerous. Meanwhile, the base just gets shredded, and this is very.
And he's trying to put up a fight, but he's not able to keep up with the unit production of Sarek. Sarek is just going in, and it seems like his allies are not in a position to help, at least at this time, because Unity Chad is trying to make a concerted push towards the south and build his armies, but we can see armies are already stacked there. I think at the moment, it's going to be very difficult for Tan to save his base.
I think for the amateurs like Meow, it's
doing really well. Yes,
and just have it auto attack.
Yes,
that's not a.
You don't need to micro if you have the right units. Especially if you're a newer player.
Exactly, you can actually tell them to patrol, you can tell them to stand their ground. Just have them with the AI move automatically. Isn't usually the worst thing for a beginner.
We can see Tan's town is just getting absolutely demolished, but he has been able to hemorrhage the damage a little bit. He is starting to rebuild. He does have 31 villages, which is not a lot, but it's enough to start. Oh, the second engagement started, and we see here in the south.
And
Meow is beelining straight for the castle. She's got those siege rams, but Unity Chad successfully able to hold them back. I don't know how Unity Chad will do against, all of these stacked units. He's got the heavy units though. He's got those paladins. He's got those Teutonic Knights, and it looks like he'll be able to defend his castle. But will he be able to win the engagement? Because we can see that Kaito has got a lot of Janissaries, and they're stacked together. One shot, one kill. Superior Micro might win the day, but in the short enclosed space, maybe that favors Unity Chad's paladins, as they aren't able to get, a good spread.
And look at the gun.
Oh, look at the guns go. It's a literal firing squad, Dominic. It's a literal firing squad. Unity Chad has the unit superiority, but the other team has superior micro, and it's proving to be hugely decisive here, because Unity Chad invested a lot of resources to get that in, and he's losing everything.
Yeah, just come with the gun to the knife fight. This is exactly it. Come with the guns to the knife fight, and you will have no issues.
Yes.
It's like they could defend the counter pull. This was a good attack, in my opinion.
Yes.
And they still lead in the scores. Wow.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Meow has like soon space for expansion.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was actually
it's no longer a space
yeah,
issue.
yeah. I was gonna say it was actually really important that they were able to get they were able to get the Rams down, because I think that this castle here is going to be pivotal in determining, you know, whether they can move forward or not. Because we can see that a lot of the teams are, Cyric especially, starting to move, you know, more to trash. And, you know, as he accumulates more wins, he'll start to reinvest into gold units. But, you know, he's relying heavily on hussars at the time being. So, you know, it's going to be difficult, and, you know, it's going to be difficult to advance their position without siege. So it'll be interesting to see if you know, Meow and Kaito may be able to bring that power to the battle. But we can see that both teams are starting to coalesce, and they're both sort of entrenched in their positions. But, you know, it's funny, because we had a turnaround in fortunes. We had the initial push and the initial initiative coming in from Cyric, and then we had it completely reversed on him, and it feels like it's just been reversed again from that. Incredible. Both teams are now in a position where, you know, they're just chilling a little bit, but I feel like, you know, Meow, Cyric, and Kaito are probably in the stronger position at the moment. Even though that's not reflected on the scoreboard, I feel like they're in the stronger position.
Oh, me too, and it is a bit reflected in the military strength, though Meow's army isn't engaged.
Oh no! Tan's gonna lose all of those units. They need to retreat back to the castle. They need to use the castle. Unity Chat needs to get those scorpions out of there. If he loses all the... Oh, they're pushing the engagement. I think they're pushing the engagement, actually. They're pushing the engagement. Okay. But look at all those Janissaries in the background. It's the firing squad. Kaito's the firing squad. Oh my god. And it's as brutal of an execution as you will ever see. Charging knights, paladins, kitted out to the guilds, just taken out. Shot by shot, kill by kill. Oh my god, a more brutal killing fields you will never see.
Like this is the firing squad is probably a mobile castle at this point. So it's just like they can just advance at this point.
Yes, 100%. Oh,
yes.
Okay, but they've got those units garrisoned in there actually. So, you know, Unity Chad might be able to pull the Uno Reverso if he ejects his knights while they're attacking the castle. And we can see, for the most part...
They eject the Teutonic Knights.
Yes, okay, and then they take out all those hussars fairly comfortably. The other thing to keep in mind is that the Teutonic have unique techs to increase the range of their castles. So actually, compared to a lot of other civilizations which may be able to bypass, you know, this castle with some, you know, certain siege units, maybe like a bombard cannon or whatever, right? It is possible that Unity Chad's castle may prove to be pretty decisive here because it has a longer range than most. That said,
exactly.
You know, that said, Meow is hiding a little trap there on the side.
But
you know, it's like if they're used, we can see, for example, Kaito has the bombard cannon, which will do a lot of damage. If they outtrade, then it, you know, might be all well and good. But we can see that the bombard cannon has 12 range, and the castle actually has 13 range. So, you know, the castle, the Teutonic castle specifically, is very, very vital to, I think, you know, how they're going to pan out defensively. But we can see they are massing their forces south, and they are massing their forces north. So exactly. You know, there's no open fields.
What's going on in the north actually? I see a little speck of Meow's army in the upper north. Is that like?
I think it's just the hussars as they were destroying the town, but they haven't pushed. Simply because they don't have the means to break through all of that infantry there, and Tan has suitably rebuilt. Obviously, you're not going to have the same level of resources. You're not going to have the same engine running your economy. But, you know, you do have, he does have 57 villages, and we can see also Cyric is also rebuilding himself. You know, he's got 47 villages. Well, we're definitely, it's funny, because you have the more experienced players in Tant and Cyric take such heavy damages to their town that they've been forced to adjust and, you know, play with more armies that rely on trash units. I think with the Persian bonus that you have with Cyrek, he can probably start to move into more gold-heavy units later in the game. But at the moment, you know, it seems like the two of them in particular are struggling for gold. And it seems like the other players, you know, are the ones that have more gold output. So they'll become increasingly important in future engagements. We can see Meow is building siege. They have the Trebs.
Yes.
They're unpacked.
The Trebs are coming
They're packed. They're unpacked. They're ready to go. And I don't think Unity Chat sees
And
what's
with fire.
coming. And that's going to be a huge issue for him. He can see the Trebs, but he can't do
Exactly.
anything about it because we can see that they've heavily fortified this
And we
position.
see more traps.
More Trebs are coming out.
That's a
If
good
he loses this
simultaneous
castle,
trap thing.
then they're just gonna roll through with their army, Dominic.
Exactly, and he loses it. No
He's
chance
lost the
he can
castle.
keep
There's no
this.
way he can rebuild that. And I think he's trying in vain to try and re-snipe those Trebs. I would actually be moving those Trebs. I would concede the position, move out, and reassemble in another area, because when that castle goes down, those units are gonna go through and it will be a 3v1, and you can't win a 3v1, Dominic. No matter how good you think you are, you can't win a 3v1.
Especially at this skill level. Well, all the players are now warmed up to it. Like this will be like a massacre.
They're not engaging. They're not engaging as of yet.
They're not engaging.
They're not engaging. They
Because
may
they
be able
don't
to
know what
snipe.
is coming.
But it looks
They
like
don't have
Kaito's starting
any
to come through.
idea.
Kaito's starting to come through.
Yeah.
And Meow
Which is important
actually
because,
trying to
they need to be
keep
careful.
those trebuchets alive with the villagers. She loses
Yes.
one. But actually pretty clever play because they're able to trade pretty effectively resource-wise as Unity Chad loses his first Treb and he might lose multiple. You can see the armies from
And now
Kaito
the
are coming in
voice
now
on.
and he's got his own Trebs firing on Unity Chad's Trebs. And we can see now the Unity Chad... What? Well, it seems like
before the game
Kaito,
actually
unfortunately,
told
he's
us,
gotten his Janissaries involved in the melee, and he might just lose them to the heavy melee stack. Okay, he's realized his mistake, and now they're
Especially the
firing,
Teutonic Knights.
but they're already, you know, right next to each other. So it's very, very dangerous on behalf of Kaito. Unity Chad may
Pretty
trade.
sure Kaito doesn't know that like he has the gunfight here, but the Janissars have basically.
Yes,
the
but
gun
unfortunately for
quests
Unity
of
Chad,
AoE.
the other players start to come in. Sarah comes in with his archers, Mia comes in with her siege, and it is a 3v1. And a 3v1, you know, is a very, very difficult
Exactly.
to win.
Like the Teutonic Knights will still lose. It's a good unit composition because they have like bulletproof armor basically. They can
Oh,
just
we can
stop
see
that.
Space Waterfall moving his units in to try and help.
And this is the Onager play.
And the
I
Onager
was
play
waiting
coming
for
through
this
with
because
Cyrac.
Why should you just sneak up on them?
Yes.
Just put your own path in.
Wait,
it.
hold
This
on,
is
hold
the
on.
way.
Wait, Space Waterfall might actually be aware of this because he's got his troops on the
Yes.
other side of the wall. They might be ready to pop that Onager when it comes through. We can see them already start
And
to
they're
fire.
firing.
And we can see that
They're
micro from
firing.
Cyrac
This
protecting
was
the Onager.
amazing play.
Great play, great counterplay. Nobody's giving an inch,
Yes.
Dominic. Everybody's really just putting all they can into it.
Yeah.
Wow, impressive, very impressive. And we can
impressive,
see
yes.
Unity Chat as well versus Cyrac. The micro coming in from those crossbowmen. Oh my god!
But they're on
Look
it,
at
us.
those
That's the
crossbowmen!
thing.
They
And
all
more.
go down!
They're
You have
dead.
like 30 crossbowmen in one fell swoop! You know, Unity
Yes.
Chat loses the Onager, but he's taken down like 30 crossbowmen in return. What a fantastic trade for Unity Chat. Well done there. However, in come the cavalry. The hussars are coming in, and they're gonna take that siege. Unity Chat needs to move his halberdiers in, and you know, flank those cavalry. The Trebs come in from Meow as well. So you know, the engagement not that decisive. We can
And
see on.
did I just hear a town bell? I did.
Yes,
hear
you
a
did,
town bell.
because-
that is actually in this case this is a good idea.
Yes,
but
yes.
this is the only time where you actually can ring a town
Yes,
bell.
yes,
Because your micro
exactly.
will be in other places.
Yes, 100%, yes. And he's built the main, you know, part of his town elsewhere, so it's not too bad. But we can see now they're aggressing on Unity Chat's end, but also, you know, Cyrac,
Yes, Cyrac is just
unfazed,
getting to the
unfazed. He
next
goes, look,
mood.
if I can't
Why
get in
not?
from there, I'll get in from another place. And I actually think that now is the time for, if I were on Unity Chat's team, and Tan and Space Waterfall team. I think now is the time for a wonder play. I think now is the time. If you want to do a wonder play, now is the time, because we can start to see that Siege is coming at a high premium. You know, your opponents probably have better Siege than you right now, so you probably need to make the play. Hide in a corner of the map that you can control, probably at the back of Space Waterfall's base, and build that wonder. I think that's what's necessary at this point.
Build the wonder and just spam the Hussars.
Spam trash.
The other thing,
Spam trash.
Try to destroy.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Guerrilla tactic. Like the siege, if the siege is gone and you can destroy all of the siege and the income, this is exactly the play with a wonder. You can win this.
Yes.
Yeah, this is so
This is an exciting game.
Because there's a huge army again.
Yeah, Space Waterfall has brought in the reinforcements, and now they're engaging with Meow and Kaito. But those Janissaries, they do a lot of damage. My goodness, I think
but
that
they're really
squishy, and so they're gonna get, they're probably gonna get taken out here. But I think that you know, Kaito's been unheralded a bit with how much damage he's been doing with those Janissaries over the course of the game, because Unity Chat in particular has suffered multiple of his pushes get, you know, repulsed and reversed on him on the back of those Janissaries. We can see Kaito actually start to move his trebs rather aggressively. Is he able to maintain that? Unity Chat is moving his units in. He's producing his units, but very unfortunately for him, they're moving in one at a time, which is not efficient. You know, they're just getting demolished, and he's not getting good value out of them. We can see the trebs start to come in from Kaito. They're demolishing his outer base. His main base is still untouched for the time being. But if I were to issue any advice for him, I would say rebuild from your main base, mass up. Because if you're sending units out one at a time, they're all just going to get picked off one at a time. You need to have a mass of units in order to compete and train.
Massive.
Yes.
Yeah, especially in a 3v3. But I do have to say, big like compliment to Unity, because his kill-death ratio is 833 to 487.
Yeah.
That's actually the best.
Yes,
kill-death
that's the
ratio
best
of
ratio in the
everyone.
whole game. That's the best ratio in the whole game so far. Yes, 100% correct.
So far at least, but if he loses all his units, this will go down. So it is really, really exciting still. This game is not over yet.
No, not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. Okay, we can see.
So,
okay, I think Sarek might have actually lost. Oh wow! No, sorry,
think so
lost
too,
his
because they got
Onega.
the
Sorry,
trapper.
I didn't
They
mean
got
like
the
you lost
trapper.
full. Yes, I didn't say lost in general. No, because Tan did a very good job picking him off with the trip. So look, you know, one team.
The outpost. It was again the issue was the outpost on the right side. They knew he came, and the outpost on the south side. So outposts again are rescuing this
coming
game.
in clutch.
I'm always saying outposts are amazing. See?
And it's great to get that validation, because you've seen the outpost actually become a huge factor multiple times in this game.
Yes. Like, it's about information.
Yes.
If you know what you're going up against, you can actually see, okay, can I win this, can I not win this? And this is actually a big thing that divides the winners from the losers in this game. Just having a bit more information, because you see, it's not about like the big things, it's like, or the really small things, it's about the composition of economy and military, and just knowing how to send your units in at what point.
Yes. 100%. 100%. It seems like Sarek is like, look, you know,
my God,
this part of the map,
building his ground.
this is my play. I'm gonna take back my town.
Yes.
This is my land. This is my
Exactly.
territory. How dare you demolish it? You can see it's
I'm
almost
just
to the
looking
exact
forward.
spot.
I'm just looking forward to him just going.
Oh, he's
into
starting
Tan's
to push a
base
bit more.
just
He's
putting
starting
one
to push a
down.
bit more with his hussars.
Yes.
Okay, he's
It's
going in for those
basically scouting at this
onegas.
point.
He's going
It's
in for
more
those
like-
onegas.
Yes.
Oh,
and he's
Tan's
trying to
lost a
just
couple.
assess what
Tan's
are
lost
the
them.
units on
Tan's
the other
lost them.
side.
Yep. He's got that hussar stack. He's been very proficient with these hussars. He watched the games last week with he was very active in chat as well. Oh, sorry, no, I was thinking of Tan, but he must have watched the games last week, as you use those hussars to deadly effect multiple times as well, though. Because
I've actually talked with Cybek a few times.
Ah!
Because, like, I do love
the secret tech, the secret knowledge.
Oh no, the secret knowledge is actually Hokan if he's still in chat. I mean, he is the KFP Wing to Sa himself.
Ah.
We do have the Wing to Sa in chat, so don't worry. we are well connected in KFP. We have our own Wing to Sa squad. So yes.
Very nice.
And it's good to have like now a moment where we just regroup, but you can see everybody is just like at edge.
Yes,
Because
you can see the positions have
are
changed.
no longer really fortified. It's open. It's pretty open.
Yes, you can see the
It's now
positions
about
have
information.
changed. Yes.
Exactly.
I think
Like,
Unity
and this
chat
is like
as
a
is
big thing.
as is workers in this aspect in this
Yeah.
part of the map. I think they're actually in heavy danger because they've all been.
I do think they should get more money for a dangerous, like a danger work.
Yeah, they should
extra.
get hazard
This
pay.
is like
Exactly.
exactly.
Because you can see those crossbowmen are just on the other side of that forest. Does Unity chat actually see them?
Exactly.
No,
not
he
yet.
does not. He
That's
does
the
not.
thing.
But
Like-
does Cyrek see them? No, he doesn't either. But he
He
knows the
doesn't, but
town
I
center's
think he
there.
can
But he
expect
knows
it.
the town
Yes.
center's there, so he would reasonably infer that there are wood choppers there.
Yeah, exactly. And I do know from Cyrek that he knows the ground base thing. That he knows. Okay, this must be at least one building with a 3x3.
Yes, correct. Well,
Which
he
is
saw the
something
town
not
center.
everybody
Yeah.
in chat will probably know. You can actually see from the spot on the ground. Okay, there is a building there.
Yes,
You don't know which
yes,
one.
you can
but
see because the
town
grass
center
is-
with a 3x3 radius
Yes.
is basically pretty unique. in that aspect.
Yes. You can see by like the size of like the sort of dusty patchwork instead of the grass. You can sort of see like there, and you can say like the size of the building. They're doing exactly what I suggested. Space Waterfall is building a wonder right at the back of Tantrumos and their shared base. I think they're going for it. You can see that the wall is starting to go up. They're going to go for it. They recognize that maybe it's going to be a bit difficult. Ladies and gentlemen in chat, we are seeing yet again another wonder play. Can their gambit pay off? It's hard to say. But I would say, compared to the last game, they may have a good chance as we're significantly advanced over the course of the game. There's still a lot of siege coming in from Meow and Kaito specifically. But it remains to be seen whether that will be enough. Because, as we've seen over time, a lot of the armies are resorting to trash units. We're seeing a lot of hussars. We're seeing a lot of halberdiers. It's very difficult to be able to push through multiple layers of walls to get to Awanda with halberdiers and with hussars. So I feel like the siege weapons, the siege units in this game are going to be incredibly important to see whether it will, to see whether they'll break through or not. So the usage of them from Kaito and Meow will be absolutely pivotal in determining the outcome of this match.
And this will all depend if Rose will survive and go to the Wonder. It'll be a journey. And this is actually pretty hard
that's
now.
a heavy snipe coming in from Cyrek there. Very, very clever. Now they've got the hole in the wall. The villagers haven't come in, so we can see Meow start to push in with some of the hussars. Unfortunately for her, hands prepared, hands ready. They've got the halberdiers, they've got the champions, they've got the castle as well. So it's going to be very difficult for those hussars to do some damage. That said, they're in range of the crossbowmen as well, so they may be able to pick up the use. And I see the Onaga, Dominic, I see the Onaga. They're gonna push through. They're taking out the woods. They're taking out the woods. Cyrek with another forest play.
KFP makes the way. The Winged Hussars what is just
The Winged
going
Hussars
through.
come through. And this area is theirs unless Unity Chat and his allies can respond quickly. It seems like Cyrek is just trying to make as much distance and ground as he can.
Yeah.
Did he? Is he going to focus in on those ships? He's scouting. He's scouting in force and trying to see where the Wonder may potentially be. I don't know if the Wonder is actually revealed on your map, but I think he's just going to try and find the corner of the map to see if it's there. He recognizes it's not built there. He might realize soon that he's hemmed in and he might take the engagement.
When it
but
actually gets built 100%.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
This is really hard though, because if they lose the army and it doesn't look like they can escape,
as all of this is happening, it looks like Tantramo is trying to make a play on the trebs and the siege weapons of Kaito, but it looks like they're doing very strongly. And amazing micro from Cyrac there.
Nice.
Like, it's... Oh, look, he's going to lose some units regardless. It's just inevitable, but he's kept the bulk of his Hussar stack well and safe, and it looks like he might be just zeroing in on those trebs. He sniped those trebs from Unity Chad with those Hussars under heavy pressure. Under heavy pressure, and he might lose those Onagers to Tant coming in with those Halberdiers, desperately trying to save them, and it looks like they may just be able to safeguard most of those. Oh no, they're losing a couple, though. They're losing most of the Onagers. I think Unity Chat's lost quite a lot of his siege from this engagement, and yes, Cyrac has lost a lot of his Hussars, but it's not that important because Unity Chat's town is now being taken to the torch by the rest of Cyrac's forces.
It is taken to the torch, and the castle fell. The castle
fell.
That's a
fell.
huge thing.
That's a huge thing. But in saying that, Kaito's lost his stack of trebuchets and bombardier cannons, and in my opinion, that is just as important, if not more so, because in this stage of the game, getting the necessary resources to fund siege weapons is going to be pivotal in determining who wins and who loses. So even though Unity Chad has lost his castle, the wonder goes up, so they know where to defend from. The wonder goes up. We can see Meow though has her own trebs up, and I feel like they need to respond really quickly to this. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they have the armies in place to respond, because if Space Waterfall loses his outer castle, then an attack from the north could prove to be very, very fatal. As we can see, it's actually a lot closer to the Wonder from the north side of the map than from the south side, because you still have to go through all of Unity Chad's main base.
Exactly. It's like they do have a shocker, but they don't know that yet, because they don't have any clearance on the, how it is looking for them. This is... Yeah, and the issue is they couldn't, like, I think they did not plan for the Wonder Gambit from the beginning.
No.
Otherwise they would have even...
They might have built it, yeah, they might have built it at a different time, but I think it was a very good decision to do so, because I felt like the comeback from Cyrac was a little bit too difficult to deal with, and I think that in a straight in a straight fight, they may have lost their engagement. We can see actually Space Waterfall. I don't know. He's being a little bit cheeky here. We can see him like garrison in all these halbs inside there. So it's like, it might be interesting. That's the thing about the Gots in the late game. We were talking about it pre-game, pre-stream, that the Gots, in the late Imperial Age, you can see those halberdiers. It's like click, 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 click. So they can definitely outproduce when it comes to infantry units. That's it. The castle's down. So Meow's taking down the castle, and then they've taken down Tant's outer walls. This is very important. I feel like the other team is not responding in time. They need to respond to this. This is, to me, this is the more important one.
Going up now. To the gate.
Yeah, it looks like Space Waterfall's moving up his army, but those Hussars are going to come into the base. To me, this is the pivotal fight. I think that the fight at the bottom of the map, the Unity Chat side of the map, is important too, but it's not nearly as important as this one, because this is a direct beeline into the Wonder. And we can see Tant's town center is under heavy attack.
And that is the important thing. Even if you have like the Wonder, you need to destroy the town center and the supply lines first.
Yes.
Because if you're in the base of the enemy, they can always output.
Yes. 100%. Okay, it seems like Tant, with the help of Space Waterfall, is able to defend the opening of his base at the time being, but we can see all the siege lined up there. And obviously, as we saw in the last game,
that Meow is keeping it out.
Yes, keeping it out of harm's reach until they can just go in. And we can see Cyrac also scouting. He's scouting. He wants to see what kind of fortifications and what walls they have. And he might realize that actually there's only a couple of layers of walls. It's not that bad. We can probably get a good Treb snipe in there if we wanted to. He's realizing this now. He's realizing this now, and this information will be pivotal. Oh my god, are they gonna sneak in? They snuck all the way in! They've snuck all the way in! Close the gates! Close the gates! They've
I was
snuck
wondering
in!
because trade is so bad to have inside this because this can
They've
happen.
snuck in.
Yes.
They've let the Hussar into
And
the chicken
this
coop, Dominic. He's
is-
gone all the way in. He knows exactly where the Wonder is. He knows exactly what kind of fortifications they have around it. And he knows that they actually don't have a lot. And as we're saying this, here comes in the reinforcements. Here comes in the army. Oh
Yes.
my goodness. And we can see
is
that on the
amazing.
bottom
And to
side
be
of the
fair-
map, this is just a bait. You know, they've got the armies there. They're just keeping Unity Chat occupied. But the main thrust of the forces is coming in from the north. They realize this is the quickest way, the path of least resistance. And they've got the siege coming through. Look at Sarah coming in. All those buildings are being constructed.
And that is exactly what you need to do. Build the army at the base of the
Yes,
enemy.
he needs to
Basically just
minimize
over
the
there.
amount of time from army thrust to attack, and that he's doing that expertly here by maintaining a very aggressive forward position. And unfortunately, the walls for Tant actually proving a huge detriment to Space Waterfall, because we can see those Scorpions are just pinging away at those Cavaliers, and they're getting that splash damage through, while the cavalry are not able to break through and actually get to those siege. Oh my goodness, we can see Space Waterfall start to build some watchtowers. They need to get those trebs in there. The front line has broken. The Hussars are in. The siege are pinging through. My god, there's death and carnage everywhere. If you look at the KD levels, it's just been off the charts this entire game. We see another thrust into the center of Tant's Town coming in from Cyric, Meow, and Kaito as well. I think Kaito there, maybe not at the moment, just from Meow and Cyric. And this is proving to be very, very costly. At the same time this is happening, Unity Chat, unfortunately, is not... Well, is he moving his armies through? I'm not sure if it's going to be quickly enough.
Maybe he's motivationally like I'm really looking forward to the after talk actually of this game. But yeah, this is like
He's moving his armies through. He's moving his armies through.
Left. Like this game will be decided in like 7 minutes.
Yes.
One way or the other.
Yes, one way or the other.
Looking at this,
It's-
6 minutes is enough.
Is that 6 minutes?
for that?
6 minutes is a long time to defend that Wonder when they have so much siege and so much military pouring through. They've been able to ping a hole through, you know, the most important part of the fortification, right? Because this is the closest way to the Wonder. And I feel like Tant, Unity Chat, and Space Waterfall were probably a little too slow to react. A little too slow to react to this thrust, because they should realize that since it's the closest way to get to the Wonder, that's probably the one that's going to be attacked most fervently.
Exactly. Like if I had built it at Unity Space, I think it actually could have gotten a bit better. But yeah, it's like because Unity is also really sneaky and he knows how to play sneaky. This will be like, but it'll be interesting to see how this will pan out in the next minute.
Okay, siege is down, siege is down. Meow is very cleverly holding back some siege though. I think this is, you know, this is going to be the deciding factor in my opinion. I also feel like, okay, so Tant's got a lot of stables right outside the walls, right outside the gates. I think that this is a good move, because in my opinion, I feel like the walls, like, if they can close that gate...
The walls are paper.
The walls are paper in the
the
face
walls are
of siege,
paper.
but in the face of the units, it's still pretty strong, because a lot of the normal units are just trash. So I actually feel like the siege is still the deciding factor, and we can see in Kaito starting to move in, and he's still got trebs, he's still got siege. Okay, we can start to see.
It'll be really tough.
It'll be really tough, but we can start to see. We can start to see them. Wait, we can start to see them hold the line a little bit, but unfortunately they've had to invest heavily in infantry to take down the cavalry, and they're just getting blown away by the firing squad of the elite Janissaries. They need some defensive fortifications or some strong Onega shots, and we can see their Tant coming in with the siege, but he's getting picked off almost immediately from Cyric. Very clever micro. You know, they're winning the engagement, but they're still getting pushed back territory-wise, which is not good, because we can see the trebs start to make their way onto the field, and if they can't get to those trebs to defend their territory, then half of their base might be wiped out before they can even react to it. and we can still see, you know, there's 200 years left. You know, a third of the time has passed since, you know, until they can win by a wonder, but there's still 2/3 of the time left to go.
Exactly, but they need to advance, or they won't do it. But I'm actually a bit interested if they will figure out the way on top of the eastern side, because they could just go through the forest.
Yeah, oh, true. Because now...
No, the west side.
Oh, yeah, up here, yes.
But,
They
exactly.
could,
But, I mean,
potentially.
they didn't think of this yet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Oh, look, the Janissaries are doing some work. The infantry are down. The cavalry are through. And this is the economic advantage that you can build in the early game, right? Because if you have a, you know, if your economy is going, look at those hussars. We talked about massing units. We said one at a time is bad. Well, if you have that many stables, Dominic, then you don't get one at a time. You get 10 at a time. Look at them all just create at once. So you can instantly mass them and just push them in. You can see, we talk about the factory of the Gothic infantry units. What about the factory of the Persian cavalry units? Look at them go. You know, they can get pushed back, but they continue to make more and more and more and more.
Exactly. Just have 10 production things where we all come out at the same time. It's just use the resources and all in. And this is an all-in war.
Yes,
But
this is an all-in. They have
at the
to.
moment.
This is an all-in. They have to dedicate all their resources. And I actually think Tant's done the right thing here. I would like to see potentially Unity Chat and Space Waterfall do the same thing. Build a whole bunch of military buildings like in this small area here, so that if it comes down to the death, if you know you need to defend the walls and make your very last stand, you can pop out 5 halberdiers at once. You can pop out 5 scout cavalry units at once. I think that they should, you know, that's something that they should be doing instead of, you know, relying on their current military production. Because look, right? You take a look at Space Waterfall, he needs to travel to get to the battlefield. Unity Chat especially needs to travel to get to the battlefield. Cyrek doesn't have to travel to get to the battlefield. He's already got his production units there.
And that's the thing I've told others before as well. You just need to minimize. It's about the logistics as well as like the micro and the economy. Just build the base in the back of the enemy's yard. I like using villagers to build my production all over the map because it is not forbidden. It's actually a good play.
It's in the rules. The rules allow. We can start to see though. We can start to see a heavy reliance on trash. So, you know, siege units are literally worth the weight in gold. Oh my god, this Onega snipe, if he gets it off, is going to be absolutely MLG. I can see it. It's lumbering forward. It's gonna put out molten death, and we can start to see it's got everybody in the chokehold. All it needs is a couple of volleys, and we can start to see some of the units go down. You know, Space Waterfall very cleverly starting to move his units out, but unfortunately, they're in a position where they're just going to get dropped. And all he needs is a couple of volleys to trade very efficiently, because we can see that they've gotten the initiative and those Hussar units are coming in at a rapid rate. They're continuing to get made, Dominic. It's just an endless assault. Where do the horses even come from?
It's like, I mean, this is KFP specialty, it seems. This is amazing to see, but they are still holding their ground, and the time is ticking down.
The time is ticking down. There's less than half the time left, actually. Yeah.
For the viewers at home, usually the years are basically around 1 to 2 seconds. I think it depends on the team size, but that means it is less than 3 minutes, a bit more than 2 minutes.
I would, yeah. I'm not too sure at how it times out. It's enough time, but I think that they need to really push. Like we've talked a lot.
I personally think it is a bit too late at this stage, as long as the other group has enough resources. Wait.
Dominic, they've called what you're saying. He's starting to send scouts out, and they've got the Onega as well. They might do the MLG
is exactly the right play I said you.
Yes.
I told you, because, and usually this would be a bit too late, but they have like a plain meadow, so they don't have to chop as much.
Okay, so Tan's put in the outpost there.
Get them
they need another outpost just so that they can see for sure, because
that's the thing. Like, exactly, and with wonders you need a lot of outposts as well. You need to have map visibility. But you see there's 2 outposts on that side. Could you see how long they... I don't think they can see, actually. that far. Yeah,
Oh my god,
but a
Tan
little bit.
might be able to see because they
actually
can see
it.
the volleys.
They see actually the volleys, yes.
They can
And they
see the
should
volleys,
hear
so
it as
they
well.
might be able to communicate. But that's the thing, though. This is happening. Oh, okay. It looks
Exactly,
like
while all of this is
while
happening.
all of that
So
is
this
happening. And Tan, actually, I think he's taken the strategy. I think he's taken the idea to say, like, okay, look, we're going to give up the forward base and we're going to attack from the side. We're going to attack
Exactly,
from the side because I think he realizes that,
But-
you know, going through all of Tan's town is probably not going to yield the results that they want. But they've got
Yes.
the initial,
Which is the right
thing,
call. It is
which
the
is the
right
right
call.
call.
They already put
Which
through
is
the
the right
thing.
call because they've
And-
gotten through the first layer of the forest, and there's a second layer of the forest, and we'll see if, you know, the other team is able to respond in time, because if they have
Yes.
if they have enough resources for a castle right next to the Wonder would be absolutely pivotal. You know, I would trade heavy out of, I would use the market and trade heavily into stone. And we can see Tan, he's understanding the play, he's building an outpost, so they want that visibility. Because now the Onega's coming in for the second layer.
Yes, exactly. And this is good game awareness.
Oh,
That is exactly the thing.
potentially Sarek might be moving in the wrong direction, because we can see that there's a
Yes.
wall there.
But
So if
maybe-
he actually
no,
digs
this
into
is
Tan,
actually be really, really close to the wall, which is a good play, in my opinion.
this is close. This is close. Is the other team going to react because they've taken, you know,
Yes.
they're taking care of the forward base, but they actually need to send the units back into defense.
And now
They've
Cyrek is
broken
committing.
through. Okay.
Cyrek is committing, and this is now the
They're
thing
broken
with-
through, and
okay,
Tan is
now-
building the
can
wall.
they
He's
build up the
very, very
walls?
desperate. And we can see their Space Waterfall also building some palisades as well. But the quick wall from Tan is incredibly pivotal.
Yes.
However, there might be a little bit of a gap. There's no gap. There's no gap.
No, the gap was close.
There's
The
no
was
gap.
close.
The wall is closed.
Okay, but
Incredibly
they
clutch
can
play.
still
But they
have
can
us a
still
lot.
break through because they've got the Onega there. They've got the Onega there, so they
Yes.
can still break through. Oh, but Space Waterfall has got a sneaky bombard right in the back, and he can potentially try and snipe
Yes.
that Onega. If he snipes that Onega, it will actually be quite difficult for Sarek to break through, because he needs an Onega to break the tree line.
Exactly.
Tan also very cleverly trying to build around the Wonder as well. And now they're bombarding
Yeah.
Unity Chad with his own cannons. They're just
The big
peppering
issue
the
is
Onega.
Where are the trebuchets? If
Yes,
would have
they
had,
need
like,
the
20
trebs. Oh
trebuchets,
my
it
god!
would be GG.
Huge Onega snipe taking
Yeah, the
out
Onega
Space
snipe.
Waterfall's villagers, but he lost his Onega in return, which I think is, you know, the better play, the better trade, the better outcome for Unity Chad, Space Waterfall, and Tan, because they need that siege out of the way so that they can properly defend that Wonder. And I think now it's actually very, very difficult. Now, the Onega play, the deforestation strat doesn't seem to have worked on the first try, and they've actually lost a lot of time, and they've lost a lot of initiative. So it seems like the game is turning again in favor this time of a Unity Chad, Unity Chad, Space Waterfall, and Tant. They may actually be able to pull it, but this is really has been a game of swings and roundabouts, because in the early game it seemed like Sarek was all over the other players, that Unity Chad was gonna get knocked out, you know, and that we would have a relatively one-sided game, and then the momentum reversed. It went the other way. Sarek almost got knocked out, but he returned from the grave. He Lazarused his way back to strength, and we had another turn in reversals, which worked until the Wonder play, and it seems like we have only 50 years left in this game, ladies and gentlemen, and it seems like all of the players are trying to send through everything they have. Kaito has trebs that he's sending forward. You know, Sarek is sending through all of his cavalry. They've got the Janissaries there. Meow is building siege and sending it through. I think that they're sending through everything that they have, because this is the final
which is the right
push.
play.
This is the final battle. Final destination, 300%, no items, sudden death. This is it, and what a treb snot coming in from taking out almost the entire Janissary stack. He loses his Onegas in return, but in my opinion, that's a worthwhile trade any day of the week, and twice on Sunday, which
This
is
will
today
win the
for
game.
me.
Yes, this is definitely the move that wins on the game. If that, I did not expect them to even have Onyx at this point anymore. Like, wow.
That's difficult.
This is-
There's only 27 years left, Dominic. I think they may have it. Their armies are too
Yes.
fortified. The walls are fortified. But Meow coming in with the trebuchets. They still have the range to take down the trebuchet. I don't know if they've got enough
they
though.
will have it,
I don't know if
yes.
they have the time. I don't know if they have the time,
The thing
but they
is,
have the
exactly,
range.
Like, even if they start the attack now, this thing will
Oh
take usually 20 years.
I don't know. But then
interesting.
Unity Chat still has his bombard cannons, so they might come in for the clutch
Exactly.
save because they're gonna have to park themselves
Exactly.
in position. And we can see one treb
And they're
down.
dead.
Cyrex treb is down. Meow has her 3 trebs, but I don't think that's gonna be enough. I think Unity Chat's bombard cannons are gonna come in clutch right at the
Yes.
death with less than 10 years left. They're taking out the trebs. The wonder stands, and we're all in awe at this amazing game that has gone back and forth, back and forth. It's almost like we're playing Q because everything is a fucking swing. Everything is a fucking... Everything is a fulcrum because it's swung back and forth so much this entire game. But congratulations to all our players. I'm calling it. There's only 5 years left. There's only 5 years left. All the trebs are coming through. Kanto still had so many
Yes.
trebs. I think he had to move a little more aggressively with them.
That
There's
was-
only
yeah,
2 years
exactly.
left. They've gotten
Yes.
through the forest,
No,
but
it's
it's
over.
over.
It's 1 year.
over. The wonder
it's just
stands. The wonder stands, and we have our victors, ladies and gentlemen. What an amazing game!
What an amazing game.
GG's to
I
all
am
our
looking forward
players.
to the others coming.
GG's to all our players. That was one hell of a game. That was one hell of a game. You know what? You know
One
what?
hell indeed.
All I'll say in KFP games, there is established now a wonder meta.
Yes.
It's the meta.
We
It's
built
the
for
meta.
our Kiawa our wonders, and this is just the meta now. Like, oh wow. Yes.
Oh man, what an amazing game! You know, round of applause to all our players. Well done, everybody. That was sick. That was sick. It was another close game. It came down right to the death, and you know, what actually impressed me a lot was that everybody. Welcome back. Everybody had a very tenacious attitude because you had sections earlier in the game where it looked like a player would get knocked out, where it looked like a player would get demolished, where it looked like a town would get destroyed. But everybody just kept playing. Everybody just kept rebuilding. Nobody gave up. Nobody said die. And it actually made for quite an amazing end game.
Did not think I would stand that long.
Yeah.
That was a crazy game.
What an amazing end game.
Wow.
That was so much fun. That was so much fun to watch and so
Yeah.
much fun to commentate.
I-
Well
yeah.
done, guys. Well done, everyone.
I learned a lot from this one.
I learned a lot.
Great. That's exactly yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what I should do, but that doesn't have enough time.
Sheesh, that game was long.
Yes,
Yes.
that was
Wait,
because
yeah.
it's because
Long
nobody
hours.
gave up. Nobody gave up, and everybody kept going, which was really, really cool to
Yes.
watch. Really, really fun to see.
Actually, we have discussed about should we just GG or continue, and then we were like, nah, I still have enough resources.
I was like, nah, I have enough resources and a complete army, so I'm like,
I have basically endless wood and food. I could spend
Yeah.
trash for all
Yeah.
forever.
yeah. I ran out of gold, but market compensates.
Yeah, I ran out of
Yeah.
stone very fast.
Yeah,
I was almost completely out of resources at the end there. But
It was really, really fun to see. Like, I actually called a play by Cyrek beforehand that you could go the other way.
deforestation,
So just
But I saw
stage
the
play.
lumberjack chat, but
I
we
saw
saw the
it.
outposts as well coming through
Yeah.
from Tan, and then it was also on
Exactly.
Space Waterfalls Woodline. It's like, you know,
Exactly.
you were able to react just in time because if you'd left it like 30 seconds later, I think they may have been able to
Yeah.
break through.
yeah, the funny thing is, like about half a minute before we saw it, I'd started building outposts there because I thought it was a bit sus.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there was
good,
the
good call by Tant.
It really is a good call, and the outposts, like the outposts, helped you a lot with every sneak attack. You basically saw it coming.
Yeah.
So again,
Especially because the team bonus for Ethiopians is +3 more line of sight.
Line of sight.
Yeah,
Yes.
we build outposts basically everywhere.
It came in clutch because, like, you could see that. I guess from Tan's perspective, it might be that you could see that there was the heavy engagement, the frontal engagement at the front of the base the entire time, and then all of a sudden, you rolled over Cyrex Hussars. I was like, oh, what's going on here? Like the guy's still producing units, so it's like, then you say, oh, I might be trying to come in through the back with the Onaga play. So that was really well done for Cyrek to identifying that play and executing it really, really well, because it was very quick. Once he determined that, okay, that was the course of action, he went straight to it, and it was very, very quick, because as he was mowing down the forest, he'd already built all of his military production buildings right outside that forest. So he'd already moved his forward position to where the trees would be. Yeah. So that was that was just, very good, but also very good on the other side to scout that out and actually quickly wall up to try and defend that wonder. So that really well done for him.
Yeah. Tant called like that we might need like bomber towers to counter traps. So I built 5 and I held them like in reserve. I didn't like waste them. Yeah. So they were like close by, so I could just scoot them over, thankfully.
The bombards did come in clutch, I will say, at the very end, because Meow came in with like 3-4 trips or something like that. Man, and I think that there was a possibility, that they may have been able to take out the wonder or get very close. And so having those bombards there to actually kill them really, really quickly, that was really a game-saving kind of play, honestly.
Yeah, if the deforestation thing would have gone unnoticed by you guys, and they had a huge army with a lot of traps, like 20 traps, you would have been probably lost the game. But
luckily
it was really late, and you defended pretty well. Like, it was really fun to see the trade card open the gates for the enemies.
Oh, yes. So, it was really interesting because
I remember I was actually seething at that point. I was like, seal the gates!
I was yelling at 2 on stream because, when the carts are, going through, and then that one hussar snuck in to see, the entire area of the wonder, I was just yelling, oh my god, they've let him through! Shut the gates! Shut the gates!
Yes. I mean, this is a difficult game to play, so...
Yeah. I actually also really like Cyrek's use of the Hussars. Once he knew that the Wonder was getting built, you could see, I think Unity Chat, there was a prod into your base with a huge Hussar stack. And then he was just running around in circles. He actually wasn't making an attack. He was trying to scout to see if
he was scouting.
He was scouting if the Wonder was in that corner of the map. I think that was really clever usage.
I hoped I could kill them with with my paladins and just to take them out. Because
but then you lost a lot of your siege as a result. Spots. Yeah, you lost a lot of your siege in that engagement. Yeah, so I think that was a really good use of resource. The other thing, it ended up being all right in the end, but initially, when Meow, Kaito, and Cyrek made their initial attack on the edge of Tan's base at the top, I was really worried that the other team was not reacting quickly enough, but you guys were able to hold them for long enough to get all of the forces from the other parts of the map there to sort of
the amount of units I was spamming into that choke point at the end just to keep them from getting
closer. The choke point was really and there was actually. There was a few plays, there was a few plays, or some really brutal moments on stream. I think in terms of in the flow of the match, it didn't really determine the result or anything, but just because of that tiny choke point there, some of the range units, specifically the Onegers and the Scorpions, and there was the Janissary stacks, they just did heavy work because you needed the cavalry up front, in order to take the brunt of that damage. But you could just see a good Oneger snipe and then 10 units go down. It's oh, that's nasty.
Ethiopians have torsion engines, which makes the splash bigger.
Yes,
exactly.
Units.
Which is Ethiopians really was a good choice, but yeah. But I did like Cyrek's play with the Persians as well, because this comeback was the
rebuild was sick.
Your whole base, you both lost your bases and you both relocated. How did it feel?
I was happy they were killing all my buildings instead of pushing further. To be honest, because we were not ready at all.
Also, one point is that I miscalculated heavily because I thought we could continue pushing north. But then it was like suddenly all me, and I didn't like roll up. So they basically just started like to triple into like my stack. So like it was kind of fierce, but I lost like the paladins, the German knights.
I think that part of
So,
the issue, it wasn't even losing that military unit. I think part of the issue was that one thing that I noticed that Sarek does is that whenever he gains territory, he immediately builds military production in that new territory so that he can, it's like confirming that you've won that ground. But I think in your case, you were aggressive and you pushed the army, but because you didn't have that back end to build new buildings there, then you could not replenish. So essentially, once you lost your army, you lost the territory.
I tried, but like I got still overrun. Like I had like 2 to 3 stables to whatever, but they still got overrun at some point.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't hold it, because I tripled into this. And Kaito and Mao like brought out the traps and just like to shoot it up.
And I was just like saving up my honors until like I had a good spot to like pop them out.
No, it was fine. It was fine.
So wait, I just want to ask, like, who called the wonder play? Who called the wonder play?
Heard it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just said like,
So
okay,
who called it? Who called the wonder play?
It was me.
10.
Okay, 10. Okay.
Nice.
That was
Perfect.
actually, in my opinion, at the right time as well. Because on one hand, I could see that the engagements, the military engagements, were going in favor of Kaito, Miao, and Cyrac. And so they were like, it was relatively even, but they had a little bit of initiative pushing south into Unity Chad's base. But at the same time, you could see because, Tant's base was like, initial base was destroyed. Cyrac's initial base was destroyed. Everybody was starting to coalesce more around the trash units. And so in a case like that, if you can fortify a wonder area, then, that's a lot easier to defend because you're only dealing with hussars and halberds, right? So, as opposed to like the rolled gold super elite, units or whatever. So, to me, it was like, okay, siege becomes really, really important, but you don't need like so many layers of walls, like, like what we saw in the game last week. You only need a couple of layers, and then you just need to make sure that you can get rid of the siege, right?
Yeah.
And so that's
push as far up as possible,
exactly.
so they have longer to move. Basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was done at the right phase of the game too, because people were struggling for gold, people were struggling for stone and all of that stuff. So, to me,
it's kind of fine with like wood and food. And
wood food's fine. I'm talking about gold.
Like Krusty said, it was like the issue with the gold, and the gold units are the units that can just
I just traded.
So,
like I
really
traded.
play.
Yeah, we traded.
Oh
trade's necessary, but I mean like. Yeah, obviously you lose a lot in the conversion, so you can't collect it at the same rate. That's what I mean. So it's like, as that happens, your army compositions naturally trend more towards trash. We can see Sarek was investing heavily in the hussars, for example, right? It trends naturally more towards trash, which are not that good at taking out buildings. Therefore, it's much easier. It's much easier to like defend a wonder if you're facing mostly like halberdiers, hussars, and like a small amount of siege, because you had to limit the amount of siege that you could make. So to me, that was the right play at the right stage of the match. Because if you called it too early, everybody just comes through with like heavy units, and you can't defend it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think in the middle, I struggle a lot with stone and gold, and I cannot build up my military. And then I saw Cyrac with like bunch of houses. Like, okay, this is the play.
you bought a lot of like good units. Like for example, when my army got chewed up, it was basically just like a few like the archers, of course. They were brutal. Like I was drooling when I saw like the archer micro.
Yes, we called it. Some of the archer micro was sick.
So well. I was like, Jesus. My units are dying, but this looks so fucking good, right?
The archer micro was sick. I think there was a specific play where you had like a stack of cavaliers or something like that against crossbowmen, and then like the crossbowmen, like okay, the crossbowmen stack lost, but like they were trading so efficiently into the cavaliers. Like, jeez,
yeah, those crossbows were doing work.
Yeah.
And like on top of that, then like Kaito brought the hand cannoneers. A lot of
Janissaries did a lot of work as well, especially like
it was difficult
when you had the small choke points, and then Kaito had like a row of like the Janissaries just firing. I was like, this is a firing squad. This is the killing fields. You know, it was nuts.
Yeah, I lost a lot of good men to
Yeah,
Janissaries.
Especially down there in the south.
The firing squad. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to AFK and eat something quickly. I'll eat it here at the PC. I just need to grab it. You can like start thinking about like how to set this up, who still can play and all that. Like just let us know.
So
Like,
I have a question. Like, are we gonna do another game? Because like you guys have like another, like we have like another night planned in like, what is that? How many hours? Like 10 hours 11, or whatever?
10
11.
hours.
10 hours? Yeah.
It's doable. You don't need more than 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna skip another game at least personally.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna if there's next game today, I'm gonna skip. Next match now, I'm gonna skip, and yeah,
Because
I won't be there tomorrow.
oh
Yeah, I think, yeah. It's a long.
Because tomorrow might even be full. Like
tomorrow has a lot of
actually 6
people. I think
for
tomorrow
one
has
night.
like
Well,
the most reacts. So
Yes, tomorrow is the
Yeah.
most people.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see what we can
I'm
do.
happy watching tomorrow as well. So
All right.
because
Yeah, same
I
for
was
me.
gonna say if that's the case, I might actually like end the stream and dip out for now because I want to take like maybe like an hour nap or something like that or that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Also, you have to do like your regular day activity stuff, right?
Yeah,
What's it?
yeah. I was gonna
Yeah,
say, I've got
the
I've got
White
a
Cross is
lunch
saying this
collab. I've
exactly.
got a lunch off collab.
Oh,
He's bullying me because I've been like I was like, are you off collabing with your friends? So like I asked him that, and then he was bullying me for using this kind of terminology.
Yes, because not everything is a freaking YouTube thing. Like you've been,
It is now, man. It is now.
like
It
you-
is.
Kiara has
It used
occupied
to
so
be-
much of your
it is
brain
now.
space. Yeah, she's occupied so much of your brain space. If I have lunch with friends or if I go out on a date or something, it's like, oh, are you having an off collab? Like, come on.
Mixed name girl off collab. Oh no!
I'm still playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
One of the guys in my guild was like, I have to go to the store and get mats to make pizza.
Let's go. Let's go. Based.
nice. I learned a lot in this one. really.
Oh, that was really
Really-
fun to watch and
I'm
witness.
glad that you learned a lot.
Yeah, that's good.
Like big congrats to everybody who played, even the people who haven't played a lot of games. You all did great, amazing moments.
Yes.
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
especially
Like
towards
Cyrus
the
said,
end there because there's so much happening at the
Team
same
did good.
time.
Yeah.
It's really hard to keep track of everything.
Thanks, Cyrac.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I kind of just
Thank
copy
you.
what he did. It's
Thanks.
like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that works.
And it turned out well.
It's
Yeah.
totally fine.
yeah.
Just click
Yeah.
buttons. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, how many you could say workers did you have?
Worker side, I'm pretty sure Cyrus was the first at 110 from everybody. Feel free to watch like this VOD. It's really interesting to see.
Yeah,
that,
if we take a
imagine
look-
Tan's game and 10 to 15% faster.
Yeah,
I would
had,
actually
like,
say, yeah,
I
yeah.
think like 100 villagers or something.
Yeah,
that's what I
so
also-
Cyrus
I
capped
had
out
as
at
well.
108, and then Tant capped out at 100.
Yeah, if you could just change to the economy view, for a
Economy
moment,
specifically?
so
Okay.
people can actually just see how many stuff was collected. It's like
Yeah, there's a lot of Kaito actually made a lot, and part of it I think is just because with your position on the map, you didn't have to deal with like so much of like the aggressive raiding that like a lot of the other players have, and so you really like steamrolled when it came to economy. Like, you take a look at
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, but I had gold issues. But
Oh,
Market compensates.
that
Yeah.
happens naturally as part of the game, right? Like, you get
Yeah.
into the Imperial Age and you build like your rolled gold army, and then over time, you run out of gold mines to work from, and then everybody just reverts back to trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah,
And the thing is, like, your units are very gold heavy. Like, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the Janissaries are very gold heavy, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I mean, it was
Janissaries
fun
made.
taking the gun to the sword side,
That,
right?
you trade in the engagements that I saw you come in with those Janissaries. You traded very efficiently because a lot of the times that you were in pitched battle, Kaito, like it was like you had a choke pointed area, and then you just had all of these Janissaries just popping units one by one. It was really cool to watch, actually.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was basically a mobile castle that you had. A squishy mobile castle, but a mobile castle.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was. Yes, yes. Look at this. Sorry, just reading the Discord.
Oh god.
But you can actually kind of see on the economy side how Cyrek is just like having a boost because of the villagers in the early game.
Yes, yes.
It's just a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you go and it's just
Yes.
like it boosts itself up because in the beginning it's everybody's the same, but you see that the age up is earlier, and then like the economy just gets
and Persians also
snowballing.
get faster, don't
Yeah.
they?
And then
Faster town centers.
and you can
Yeah,
see,
exactly. Like the Persians get a bonus, and the bonus was like in the Imperial Age. Yeah.
and you can
Yeah, man, it's
pinpoint
pretty good
pinpoint
eco.
the moment like he gets his town demolished. But
Oh yeah, but if you didn't have to demolish this, you can see how this curve would have continued.
yeah.
Right? So if you
Because-
didn't make that play to 3 versus 1, yeah, like you would have lost the game. I'm pretty sure.
Something I need to do next in the next match is putting production in forward positions.
Yes,
That's something I did not do, and that
Like-
made things difficult.
And look at Cyrex buildings, for instance. Like just build 7 or 8 of them,
Yeah.
and just have them go out on the same. I've done the same in the match we both played against each other. It's just very efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And I
yeah, you
learned
did
to
the right-
and I tried to use hotkeys for the first time.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is
Nice.
actually a big milestone because even just using them a little bit, it helps. It also helps lessen your own mental
Yeah.
load.
It helps to rebuild while you're still in battle.
Yes,
Same.
and that is the thing. Just
100%.
constant production. Like with Cyberk, you can actually see. Like I don't think the town center was idle in the beginning at all. Like always producing
Yeah, I
something.
had some battles because I had some bad timings.
Yeah, but you still were okay. Like you were basically second in the whole game. It's just like the more you play this game, the more you get comfortable with it. Even if you mess up,
Keep like
it's a
either having
smaller
too much
mess
wood or
up.
not enough wood when I'm going up the feudal.
Yeah.
I still need to figure out how to boost up my economy. Like once I start the battle, quote unquote, then I just ditch my own base and don't just forget about it.
Yeah, the trick is basically to
Yeah.
use the hotkeys with the control, just making groups out of the buildings too. And just during the battle, at times click the buildings with the hotkey and just produce stuff or research
You
stuff.
can also
or
just
use
make
it.
like hotkeys to select all barracks and stuff as well, like what Kira
Yeah.
was doing in the stream.
Exactly,
Oh.
like yeah.
Yeah.
That is- like you usually like I think control shift H or like H is usually your town center and like one
Like
hotkey which
now
is
that you've
another
mentioned that
thing is
Kiara
all
did it
hot
in her
stuff.
last stream, like by the next game, everybody's gonna be like just playing with hotkeys only.
I mean,
She
maybe.
had like select all town centers on 8 or
Yeah.
something, I think.
All right, I'm actually
Yeah,
gonna I'm
it's-
actually
I
gonna
played
hop
some
off.
StarCraft.
I'm actually gonna hop off, guys. So thank you very much for the game. One, it was long, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun. So thank you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off. So you all
At
take
least it
care.
was good content.
One thing before you actually hop off,
Yes.
it could be interesting to just link the Wawa video in chat so people can just
Oh.
have this thing. If they haven't seen it and they do want to see more Age of Empires, there you have it.
Mhm. All right, hold on. I'll pin it.
Empires.
Sorry for the wonder.
4K.
The thing is, we would have to move in order to. The thing is, I think
Hmm?
we still had kind of. If we didn't get completely through your defense, then I think we should have kind of coordinate maybe a bit differently to breach defensives before you guys could even have built a wonder.
Yeah, that's like I said earlier. Like when you first pushed into my base, I was so happy you like stopped there to destroy my buildings instead of pushing further. Because that gave me time to like build up a double wall and for space to put up a castle and several towers.
The double wall in the castle was amazing. Like you did great. So Krusty, thank you very much for shoutcasting with me.
No worries.
Thank you, Krusty.
We'll be back for another game or another set of games. I don't know. It depends on how long they take.
This time we might actually have more like a less XP group if everyone shows up. Because like the people who said that they want to play, I think we actually do have 6. So that's like we line up 2 matches. Well, we have to see. So it might kind of be full. It depends.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah,
exactly.
Thank you guys. Thank you. I'll catch you all later. You have a good one. And take care. Take care. Bye. All right, chat. That is the stream for now. You know, AoE2 with KFP. We'll be doing another stream. What time? I don't even know. I don't even know what time. In like, when did Dominic say? In like 10 hours or whatever, right? So, in about 10 hours, we'll be playing another game. We'll have, you know, different players, more players, etc. But yeah, join me then, and we'll do a little bit more commentary. We do a little bit of commentating here. But for the time being, I'm going to hop off. I'm going to get a little more sleep before lunch. And thank you for coming along. Thank you, everybody in chat, whether you sent a message or you were just lurking and watching. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Take care. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all next time. Oh, also, no scuff on the stream. Nice. Let's go.